This episode of Computer Clan Live is made possible by our awesome associates at ArtGrid. If you need some awesome royalty-free stock footage for your stuff, oh my gosh, use these guys. I use them all the time. They are freaking awesome. But also, I think I use their other product, Artlist, even more. If you need royalty-free music for your YouTube videos, feel free to check these guys out. In fact, some of the music you just heard in the intros from these guys, most of the music I use throughout all of my YouTube shows is from Artlist. There's links in the description. If you sign up through us, you actually get a pretty generous discount, plus you'll be supporting the channel, so everybody wins. And you're also supporting independent artists, so seriously, it is a win-win situation for everybody, so go and check out Artlist and ArtGrid with the links in the description. Thank you guys for supporting our channel, and boom! Hey guys, how you all doing? Really, that's just great. You know, I'm doing pretty great today too, because I finally have freaking AirPods, so I don't have these giant headphones and a cord and all this crap in my way. I'm actually running quite a lot of new stuff for the stream tonight, so if some stuff goes wrong, I'm just giving a preemptive notification to everybody. I am doing a lot of new stuff right now, hardware-wise. It's been tested, so it should work, but if stuff breaks, we'll try to fix it ASAP. I have a brand new Imac, way faster, brand new internet connection, more than double the upload speed, all Ethernet now, AirPods instead of headphones, new capture card. I went out with a Elgato. So yes, very nice new system. It's so much smoother. In fact, getting set up tonight was way less laggy and full of dropped frames and syncing issues because this iMac has a lot more performance than a 7-year-old laptop. Who would have thunk it? And guess what? I am not alone tonight. I am joined by my awesome friend, Steve. I don't have a last name to finish the awesome introduction there. Steve Jobs. No, just kidding. Yes, this is Steve from Mac 84. Yeah. This is Steve from Mac 84. He's collabed with me quite a few times. He's also from the Mac Yak podcast. So, Steve, how's it going?
Going well. How about you, Ken? How you doing?
I'm doing stressed out because I can't catch a break. But hey, life's good. I'd rather be busy than be bored.
That is true.
Yeah. Let's see. Wallable asked in the chat, is it tiring bringing your iMac down to where your setup is? Actually, it's not. The editing suite and the studio are like 15 feet apart. It's actually very easy to just unplug the iMac, move it to the studio, and plug it in. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so tonight, here is the plan. Apple just hosted this brand new event, probably one of the shortest events they've ever done, honestly. And they introduced a ton of new products. So we're going to break down the news for you, but we're also going to talk about some of the stuff they didn't release, and we're going to get a little speculative and talk about some of the rumors and stuff for upcoming products. But in addition to that, just want to remind everyone, this is live. This isn't some BS pre-recorded thing. This is live, so there's a live chat. Feel free to talk with us. Hey, if you just want to say hi, just say hi. If you're new here, welcome. I love having new people watch the Computer Clan stuff. It's great. But also, if you have any questions about anything Apple introduced today, let us know. We're kind of going to just talk about this stuff and break it down in order as like how it is on their website. But at any time, if you have a question, let us know. And then at the end, we'll take a dedicated Q&A section where we'll just jump around all the topics. Like, I don't care. We'll just answer anything you want to know. All right, so Steve, if you're ready, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So their event, again, was a pre-recorded thing. I know earlier I just said this isn't some BS pre-recorded thing, you know, not to imply that pre-recorded things are BS, because Apple does a really good job with their pre-recorded events. If you haven't seen it, watch it later. Just drone footage, the cameras flying everywhere, all the Steadicam stuff.
They seem to have a lot of fun with it.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I bet it takes a lot of work to make that look so good, but they do a great job. Honestly, I have never seen another company do a pre-recorded event so well. And obviously, COVID is making it hard to do their normal like in-person events. Coincidentally, after they just built that like bajillion-dollar Steve Jobs theater, but hey, you know, what are you gonna do? So yes, it's now all pre-recorded, but it's absolutely beautiful. So the first thing they talked about was Apple Watch Series 6, and it's looking really gorgeous. So we're gonna take a look at that right now, kind of dissect everything. And again, if you guys have any questions in the chat, let us know. This is the Apple Watch Series 6. As you can see, it has laser beams on the back, so Dr. Evil's super happy about this one. That's particularly for the Blood O2 monitoring. So for me personally, I'm really excited about this because check this out, guys. See this? This is the Apple Watch. What series, you ask? No. That's not how I roll. This is so old, it doesn't even have a series number. This is the OG. I ordered this right when they went for sale. I remember it vividly. I wasn't even in the studio. This was way before I moved to the studio. This was long ago, probably like 3 in in my underpants
Wow.
on the Apple website. It launches. I ordered it. Now,
I could just picture it now, Ken.
well, let's demonstrate. We'll reenact that later. But yeah, it's they sold out, I think, if I remember correctly. They sold out kind of quick, so I'm glad I did it.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was like 5.5 years ago. It's time for a new one, so I'm glad Apple did this. And Apple's like super focusing on health stuff, and I think that is absolutely incredible because like, especially with how they treat fitness, like I haven't seen any other company, particularly with wearables, like care about fitness as much as Apple does.
Yeah.
I just wish
have a
I cared
question
about it. What?
I have a question for you because you have your OG watch there. How does it still hold up? How's the battery going for you?
Battery's perfect. I can get a day and a half out of it, no problem.
Oh,
nice. I charge it every night, so it's no issue. But yeah, it still works perfectly. The only thing is, you get none of the new features now because it's older, slower hardware. You can't upgrade the operating system. So
Yeah.
I'm missing out on all the new health things, and the sleep tracking and the new faces. And I know this may sound silly, but like I live alone. I would really like things like fall detection. Who knows? I could be setting up a lighting rig and knock myself unconscious. I would like my watch to be able to call emergency services automatically.
That might be a good thing to have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't feel so bad about admitting that because even in Apple's event today, they showed a 26-year-old that almost went into cardiac arrest and his Apple Watch saved him. So the fact that
Yeah, that's. I mean, I mentioned the battery because I have a Series 3. I got it as a refurb 2 or so years ago. Whenever the refurbs first came out, and I pulled the trigger on that. But I actually had to get the battery replaced not long ago. It must have been a fluke or something, but it was under Apple Care still, and it just was one of those things where it was just dying, and then it wasn't charging correctly. Like it was sitting on the charging cable, the only one I have, the only one that came with it, and it would say like charging. Charging. Oh, just like didn't know what to do. So they sent me, a box to send it back. It was like the most beautiful packaging for a return I've ever experienced. Of course, because it's Apple. It had like silk screened this and plastic and everything like that. It was really, really wild. But they sent me a new watch. They didn't send me a new charging cable. So if that was the issue, it would have still been a problem. But
interesting.
no problem so far. Knock wood.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Windows 7 in the chat asks how much does the new watch cost? The Apple Watch Series 6 starts at $399, but there is a cheaper watch, the Apple Watch SE, which starts at $279. And we'll talk more about that stuff later. But yeah, absolutely, check them out. I personally already ordered the Apple Watch Series 4. I did the smaller screen size because that's still, I think, bigger than what I currently have. And I did the black. No, I did the blue aluminum. The new blue color. Yeah.
I was about to say, did you order 2? Because I saw the blue one.
Yeah, no, I'm just stupid. I ordered the blue aluminum finish with the black
aluminum.
Yeah, with the new black. It's charcoal. They called it a braided solo loop, so you don't need a clasp or a buckle or anything. So that's pretty cool. I can't wait to get that. I'll do a full review on that once it gets here.
So how do they measure the loop there?
Yes.
Did they give you any options? Or?
It was actually pretty fun. It gives you like 12 sizes. And if you don't know like the actual circumference of your wrist, no joke, they give you a little tool, you print it out, and it has a ruler on there. And it's like cut along the line, wrap it around your wrist, wherever the lines match up, that's your size. And mine was a lucky number 7. And Apple really thinks this shit out because when you print stuff, you might scale it wrong. They even put a little outline on there to put a credit card on there. It says, place your credit card here to make sure the scaling is right. I'm like,
I was about to ask about that.
Yeah. So they figured it all out. So I did it. It's a 7. And knowing my luck, I'm going to get it. And it's going to be super, super tight. It's going to turn my hand blue. Just kidding. It'll probably work just fine.
It'll match your watch. So that's all that's important.
Yeah, right. Blue wrist, blue watch. So anyway, this is the braided kind of style I was talking about earlier. I got the charcoal version of that and this blue aluminum finish. Gosh, guys,
nice.
I normally never get colored stuff. I'm a space gray kind of guy. But the blue, oh shit, dude, the blue just really got my attention. So that's one of the new features. You have those new band options. You have the blood O2 monitoring, the blue case as well. The new sensors, okay, they really went crazy. This looks like some sci-fi like level stuff. Like it looked like a UFO, right? I'm not crazy.
They played it up during the intro too. They're like, "Look at this," and it was like, "What am I looking at here?" Oh, it's a bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So like it has the blood O2 monitoring, which you talked about earlier. It still has the heart rate monitoring. They did some software tweaks where it can now measure like heart fitness, not just like an EKG. It can still do an EKG, but it can also monitor health fitness. There was some acronym for it. I really should have remembered that.
I should have too.
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest with my audience. I did not like write down a shit ton of notes like I did for WWDC because I still balance all of this YouTube stuff I do with a day job. Wow, it's hard to do that. Hopefully, I can start shifting, in another direction later. Anyway, so that's another new feature. It's also powered by the S6, which is a much faster system in package. I think they call it a system in package, not a system on a chip. Yeah, for this particular type of hardware.
I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, everyone that I was reading about was like, "Oh, they're going to change the design," and I'm like, "What's wrong with the design? Fine, no, it's not broken. What are you going to change about it?"
I think the design looks great, and for me, it's a big upgrade no matter what because I still got the old one. Yeah, and this one doesn't even have an edge-to-edge display. It has the nice chunky square. Nicolay reminded me pulse oxygen stuff. Yeah, wait, no, I think we covered that already, but yes, it does do that.
That's what the lasers are for.
That's what those red lasers are for. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk about some fitness stuff, right? That sound good to everybody? All right.
Oh, we fit in that perfectly. Just
so Apple has a new service called Apple Fitness Plus. Hey, Crazy Tech Reviews, what's up in the chat? And it's a subscription service. I think it's like $9.99 a month or like $79.99 for the whole year. And you can use it for your whole family, which is pretty sweet. Or you can get it discounted if you get it part of Apple One, which we will talk about later. But basically, it's like this nice interactive training experience where there's these videos from Apple's own like studios with these professional trainers, and you can exercise and work out and train with these guys, track it on your watch it on your Apple TV, on your iPhone, and it's so freaking cool. Apple Fitness Plus coming late fall 2020 again for $9.99 for the whole family or $79.99 for the whole year for the whole family. And it's also part of Apple One, which we'll talk about a bit later. Now, me personally, you may not believe this, guys. I'm not the most fit person. Now, I lost a lot of weight recently just because I ate differently, but I wish I was more excited about fitness. Maybe this will do it. Maybe this will be the thing. I want to start lifting, not necessarily doing cardio and crap, but this might get me a little more excited to do that. So I just thought it was
cool. You got some Imacs behind you. You can lift them. Come on, man.
Yeah, just start. Honestly, that Emac especially, like that bitch is 50 pounds. Like, let's just start.
Yeah, man. There you go. Just get one of the iMac G3s. Each handle. Just come on.
Right.
On one arm.
Oh yeah, those got the hand. That's why the handles are built into those things. Steve wanted you to lift. Oh yeah.
Damn right.
Hey, Action Retro, you passed 5,000 subs recently. Well, that is pretty freaking amazing.
Congrats.
Holy cow. Dude.
That cursed Macintosh SE has cursed my basement. I'll tell you that because I had to recap it.
Yeah, right. I actually just started watching Action Retro recently. I think I've seen your stuff pop up before. And the algorithm is sometimes really nice. But we should catch up actually because like I love vintage crap, especially vintage crap that explodes in my face. Anyhoozle. What else was with the watch? I think I covered most of the stuff. They are doing a product red. But yeah, I think that was the main thing.
Nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. The solo loop was a nice surprise. I do like that. You can get it in like the single piece form factor, or you can do the braided. I did the braided because I just think that looks soft.
I know they have so many new watch faces now that they were going over. So if you're into that, that's cool. But I think the other big thing that we touched on a little bit was the family setup, which is, I guess, great for somebody who does not have a phone. So like an elderly person or a child or whatever who doesn't have their own iPhone, you could pair the watch to one phone. You can have multiple watch pairs to that, which is pretty neat. So if you're into that situation where you're not going to give your each of your 10-year-old or 12-year-old or 13-year-old kids a brand new phone that could support an Apple Watch, but maybe you want to track where they are. Maybe you want them to have the fitness tracking, the cellular connectivity or whatever. It's probably cheaper to buy a watch than buy a phone for them,
Right. So, plus Plus, I think it's also just a safer idea overall. That way, you have like, then your kid doesn't have the full blown unknown power of a smartphone in their pocket. Just a
Yeah,
watch.
it's much
Keep it
harder to
simple.
browse the web on a watch.
Yeah. Question though, do you so you can get these with the family? What do they call it? Family sharing or like family setup?
I think.
Yeah. So since you can do family setup watches without a phone, do you think this is like also doubling as a testing ground for them to make a standalone Apple Watch that doesn't require an iPhone?
I was waiting for them to say something like,
Right.
this is the watch that doesn't require it. Like when they introduced the iPod Touch and had the little scissors and it was like, no, cut the cord,
Right.
PC free setup or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of expecting them to do that, but I think it's just so reliant right now on the iPhone. I think eventually they'll probably go that route, but like you can't download apps like that well from the watch. Like I don't think you can.
True.
I haven't even tried it. If you can, it's just not on my model. But I think you just gotta. They're just sort of testing the waters there. I think it would be great if you could do that.
Yeah, and like you said, testing the
waters.
Right, testing the waters is exactly what I think they're doing. And Action Retro actually just said my next point here. I wish they would make a standalone watch because he's an Android user. And, I've had people say that where it's like, hey, I'm on Android, but I would love an Apple Watch. And it's like, you can't do that right now. But maybe in like 2 years or so, we'll see that. Standalone Apple Watch. Could happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't done that because, just like they won people over to the Mac platform with the iPod, sort of some of these accessories like the Apple Watch could lure people over, or even who cares what type of phone or tablet they have, just give them a watch and let them use whatever subset of features they can that's not iOS. I mean, I understand Apple's whole ecosystem of their software and everything syncing to each other, but if you can make an iPod work on Windows, I mean, you can make a watch work on Android OS.
Dude. That's like the expression like they can put a man on the moon, but they can't do XYZ. Our new
you build
version,
iTunes for Windows XP, but you can't put a.
That's our new man on the moon. You can build iTunes for Windows.
I still have that poster that says "Hell froze over."
Yes. I love that.
I love that.
I love that. Ultimate Tech asked, Computer Clan, what do your parents think of your channel? Kind of a weird question, LOL. Actually, my parents are very supportive of this because it's also a job, and I think that's really cool that you can do what you want and make money from it. I hate making things about money, but unfortunately, the rest of the world likes to do that, and you got to play their game. But yeah, no.
Wait, you get paid?
You guys are getting paid. Anywhoozle, yes. So that is another big thing, mostly on like the software level of what's going on with the watch. So yeah, what you can do if you want to get one, you can actually order them right now. They start shipping on Friday, I believe, very soon. Yep, 9/18. And yeah, you can go to the Apple Watch Studio, choose your case size, your color, finish, the band, all this cool stuff. House of Moth, hey, how's it going, Jay? Thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Steve for president. Yeah.
A Quadra for every household.
So yeah, go and check that out, guys. Even if you don't want to buy one, just like have fun in the Apple Watch Studio. It's like this cool little interactive experience that lets you just customize it. But yeah,
that is pretty. I was looking at that. I don't need a new watch, but it makes you think.
So that is Apple Watch Series 6. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let us know. We'll answer those, and we'll do a dedicated Q&A near the end as well. So don't worry, we'll get your questions answered. But for now, let's transition to the next Apple Watch they introduced, the Apple Watch SE. So the SE, just like with the iPhone SE, is kind of like the lower end version of Apple Watch. So it has a lot of the same features as the 6, and it has the same design, but it doesn't have the S6 chip. It has the S5. It doesn't have the blood monitoring, the blood O2 monitoring and stuff like that. So it's missing out on a few things, but it's $279. I mean, that's really dirt cheap you get so much with this. So that's another thing to check out. Yeah, I'm just excited, man, because I have a Series 0, so like anything at this point is an upgrade, but this is gonna be nice.
Yeah, I just like that they're using the SE name for a lot of things. I mean, for the phone and everything, and I mean, one of these is still an SE in my book, but
Oh, I know, dude. Every time I think of SE, absolutely, I'm sure Action Retro would love this. But yeah, I always think
Yeah.
about the Mac SE. It's hiding down there. You can't see him. You kind of see the top of mine right there. That's my good old SE right there.
Oh.
Spoiler alert for a future Crazy Ken episode, someone donated an SE with an image writer too. It is in my garage right now, so we'll get to that.
Oh my.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a future dealio. But yeah, so I like that they use the SE moniker. I think that's really simple to understand. I wonder what it stands for though. Like, or is it just letters?
And yeah, I mean, it's funny because Apple will use these letters, and sometimes it's like, what are you actually trying to say with this? Like the
Yeah.
4S was S, and everyone's like, oh, it's speed, it's this, it's that. And it's SE. It's like, is it special edition? Is it super cheapo edition? Like, what does it actually stand for?
Super economical. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Super economical.
Patent that right now. You got it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, in the Mac SE, it stood for system expansion. But like here, it's just, and I know Phil Schiller said like they like to use some cool letters and stuff because it sounds like, sporty cars and stuff like that, like the 10R and all that, and it's great. But you're right, it started with like the 3GS. Phil Schiller directly said the S stands for speed, and then you had the 4S, which he said S stands for Siri. But also, because it was introduced one day before Steve Jobs died, I think a lot of the fans like to say the S stood for Steve. Just a little.
Yeah, I mean, that's pure speculation, of course.
The S stands for speculation.
The S stands for Steve. That I had full input on that.
That guy.
Apple was just such big fans of my little Nicky YouTube channel then.
So that is a quick rundown of the Apple Watch SE. Again, that starts at $279. So for grins and giggles, let's actually go back. And while I'm doing this, feel free, guys, if you have questions, I'll try to catch them. The chat is scrolling really fast. If you want your message to stand out, go ahead and send a super chat. You also support the channel when you do that, so thank you very much. We'll try to get that stuff answered. So just for fun, let's bust out the Apple Watch Studio, and let's just see like how expensive one of these can get. Just for fun. Now, does anyone remember?
Don't use my credit card.
Yeah, oh no, I won't do that anymore. Does anyone remember the Apple Watch Edition, the gold one? That was like starting at 10 grand.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. Let's do a 44 millimeter. Let's go titanium because they don't have the ceramic anymore. It looks like they killed that off.
Yeah, I wonder what the reason. Maybe it wasn't popular enough. They do that a lot.
It probably wasn't, yeah. Let's do the biggest size with stainless steel, titanium case. And let's do what do you think? A stainless steel band? Or maybe like a leather band.
Classic.
Yeah, I did the braided solo loop. Yeah, that's what I did. Those don't actually like affect the price too much. Yeah, actually, a 44 millimeter space black titanium with the graphite Milanese loop, which is sexy. I just don't want like a hard loop on my wrist. It's only $899. That's actually not as much as I thought it would be.
Huh, I'll take two. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, is the stainless steel
one on each wrist?
Yeah, one just in case, Yeah, that's interesting. That's a little cheaper than I thought. Now you can get the cellular. Again, these do have cellular as well, and that will up the price a little bit.
Is that the one you're looking at, the cellular one?
No, I didn't have that one on here yet. I was just
okay.
Going through the looks right now in the collections here.
So what's the base price of the new series?
The Series 6 starts at $399.
Oh, okay. But the titanium one, I guess, is a little pricier.
Yeah, it looks like titanium with a stainless steel Milanese loop with the biggest screen size is only $899. So that's not terrible. I mean, there used to be configurations that were like in the thousands of dollars, especially again that gold one was like 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably not their target audience with these.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'm just kind of catching up with the chat here just to make sure I don't miss anybody here. And yes, some people were complimenting you on your After Dark flying toasters back there.
Oh,
so,
well, thank you.
That was
they
really
are
nice.
Beautiful toasters. I like my toast just with a little bit of a flying toaster on it.
I'm more of I like my toasters little and brave. Sunbeam.
I remember having that screensaver on an old Mac and it just froze, but the sound was still going. And I didn't realize, and I looked at it, and all the toasters were frozen. I'm like, all right, this is the opposite of a screensaver. It's going to burn into the CRT.
It's a screen killer. Like what? Screen.
Yeah, exactly. Ouch.
So, And we will absolutely circle back to more Apple Watch stuff if anyone has any other questions or comments about it. But for now, someone just said, actually, I don't think the Milanese loop is the most expensive band. I clicked through them all. I didn't see anything more than that. The leather one, I think, was the same price. The Hermes. Did I miss the Hermes or Hermes? It's too fancy. I can't pronounce it. Okay, Hermes. So that brings you up to like 1,500.
We can't do that.
No, we can't do that. This is the Apple Watch Sport. Like, that's what it was called. Like, it was called Apple Watch Sport. I'm cheap, says the guy using a $4,000 computer.
So, yeah. Well, just cut the computer in half and send me half. That's fine. You'll be good.
Yeah, sure. I get 5 cores. You get 5 cores.
Oh, I like that comment. I like my toast by Roxio.
Oh yeah, Roxio. So, for now, we'll move on though to the next thing, and it's the new iPad, which is full of amazing new features like nothing. It seriously got like a chip update, and that's about it.
But you know what? I was looking at the iPad for someone in my family, and I was looking at the 7th gen, and I'm like, that's not too bad. And I looked and it had like an A10 chip, and I'm like, wait a second, that sounds pretty old. And I'm like, that is old. That's pretty old. And I know it's silly, but it's like, if you're going to spend 300, 350, 400, 450 on an iPad, you don't want it to be that old. And so, we were holding off until this announcement. So I'm glad that they had this 8th gen iPad because, an A12 ain't that bad. That's what the Mac Mini bridge machine is that they're given to developers for this Apple, silicon stuff. So
I guess specifically that was a Z Bionic. I'm not sure how much faster that makes it, but
oh yeah, I'm sure that's overclocked to the skies. But yeah, it seems to be okay, and I think it uses. Did they say it uses the new Apple Pencil or it uses the first gen one?
It's the old one because it doesn't have the new design where it has the magnetic edge. So it is still first gen Pencil. But no, to your point, exactly. Yeah, it didn't have a huge upgrade, but it's only $329. So you can have a full-featured iPad with an A12, Apple Pencil support, and it's only $329. So
that surprised me because I forgot that they had a cheapo iPad, and I'm like, oh, this can be like $500, and I'm like, oh wait, I can afford that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, not too bad, but not a ton of exciting stuff coming with that one, but it's still great if you want to get into the iPad world. That's a perfectly fine entry level price.
And I think that's exactly what Tim said. He said that we want everyone to have an iPad, and right. I mean, at the price of like netbooks and Chromebooks and stuff like that, that is right in that price point.
Oh, totally.
I mean, you look at that, and you get an iPad, you get an Apple Pencil. If you're an educator, you get a little bit of a discount with that and the Apple Care. And then you get one of those keyboard cases, and it's like, you're set. I mean, that iPad, the screen is probably, you got to want to put a good screen protector on that, especially if you give it to your kid. But, they're pretty good devices. I still have my Mini from 2013, and you can't do much with it now because I refuse to update the software. But I'm looking forward to one of these ones.
Totally. I mean, honestly, I'll point to this in the background. Maybe some people mentioned this already, but that's an OG back there. That was actually one of the first ones ever sold. I was at one of the stores on launch day. Still works, guys. Still works. But yeah, I'd rather have a $329 iPad than a Chromebook.
Do you have to plug yours in for like 3-4 days for it to actually charge up? Is the battery?
No, actually, no. Like the battery still works amazing for a 10-year-old tablet.
Yeah, I mean, mine was just sitting and it discharged itself, so I had to plug it in for a few days. But after I did that, it did spring to life. So
yeah, that's pretty sweet. So yeah, that is really awesome. They also said they sold over 500 million since the launch, so it's a popular device, guy. I mean, it's everywhere. It's freaking everywhere.
Oh yeah,
you can't go 5 feet without bumping your foot on like someone using an iPad or a kiosk using an iPad. Like it's nuts, man. So that was kind of the update. Still good. Nothing too crazy. But this is the part that made me I was going to say something somewhat inappropriate, so I won't. But let's just say I'm not going to say that either. But I was really excited.
Did you have to change your pants?
Damn it, Steve! You knew exactly what I was going to say.
You can't tiptoe around me, man.
I know. I'm also looking at my audio meter, and I thought I had a peak limiter on here, but apparently I didn't. So if I just like yelled and exploded everyone's ears, I'm sorry. I thought I had a compressor or something.
Nah, he did it on purpose. It's all part of the show.
Still got to fine tune it. This is a new setup, but anyway, yes, the new iPad Air, available in October, starting at $599. I did not expect all these colors. This is the first time they did iPad in
I
like a
like
bunch
the
of colors.
colors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want the green one. I don't know why. I just want it.
Tons of people want the dude. I was watching the keynote with somebody. The first thing he said was like green. Like I want the green. Everybody.
I mean,
wants...
It matched my iPad, my iMac rather, and the iPod Mini behind me. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. WazDemand14 said he likes this channel, and we like you. So thank you. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, what else is going on with this? Well, tons of stuff is going on with it because it kind of has that iPad Pro influence on the design now. So it has the new like square edges. You can use the new Apple Pencil with it. Again, it comes in those new colors. But there's some other cool stuff about it. And I was going to talk about this if I had enough time to like squeeze in another rumor episode, but like I was so crammed for time. But this is the cool thing I was really excited about. Touch ID built in to the button.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there's no home button traditionally on here because it has that new like edge to edge kind of look, like you see on the iPad Pro. But it's cheaper, so there's no Face ID, right? Which personally I don't care about. I still really love Touch ID. So no home button. Yeah, no home button. Where do you put it? You put it in the little sleep wake button. It's perfect, especially with masks. Like so many Face ID things are useless with masks now because you got to wear them.
Yeah, I mean I don't know if that's like what they were thinking. This thing is probably in so many months in development, but that's an excellent point. I mean,
right.
One of these things. First off, that is very, very, very nice. Putting it on the sleep wake button, which is always going to be there. So no excuse for you taking the button off. I hope. Yeah.
Don't say that. I'm using a magic mouse, Steve.
They took all the buttons away. You got to turn it upside down to charge it. This is madness. But I mean, I think this is a really cool iPad, and for the longest time, I've been looking for a new one. Like I said, I had a 2013 Mini, and I think this is probably the one I'm going to end up getting. It looks like it's packed with features, like you said. It's just a really nice device, really good chip in it. I'm a little bummed that it still starts at 64 gigs. I mean, I understand they got the iPad Pro and everything, and I understand with iCloud and everything, it should be enough. But I don't know. Memory prices are so cheap, man. I mean, yes, they want to bump you up to the 256, but I mean that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can understand that, and they probably had to make trade-offs because they're doing all this other stuff, and it's a liquid Retina display now too. Personally, like I've been on 64 gigs for so long, I'm still okay with it. And you're right, there's iCloud and all this stuff. I use iCloud, I use Dropbox. So, but yeah, that's a good point. If you want a little more, you'll have to do the 256 tier. But yeah, that is.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have like another tier higher than that. But I know they're probably doing that just for their pros.
Yeah, because they still got to keep the Pro relevant. I mean, there's people asking like, why would you get like the 11-inch Pro now and all that stuff? But it's like, guys, this is new. The 11-inch Pro was updated long ago. The next 11-inch Pro is going to be like leaps like ahead. So, but yeah, right now it probably wouldn't be the smartest idea. You kind of got to weigh the economics of it. But that's what happens that's what happens when you have like the Pro line and the non-Pro line, and they get updated at different times. Sometimes the non-Pro line is going to start sneaking up, but then the Pro line is just going to leapfrog ahead when that gets refreshed. So that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. I mean, with Apple's products now, you just gotta be super careful because it just seems like everything you could sort of be like, oh no, they just updated the iPads. Like, no wait, that was the iPad Mini.
Right. Oh, I forgot the Mini even exists. Thanks, Jordan Anderson, for the donation. I really appreciate it. No, I remember it exists, but it's just like they don't like do anything with it much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like the Mac Mini and the Apple TV.
Oh yeah. I got both of those sitting behind me, so I hope they didn't hear you. I do want to say this though, because I do get these questions. Guys, use the Mac Rumors Buyer's Guide. Like it'll tell you, it gives you like these cool like little warning labels: buy, don't buy, caution. Like before you plan to buy a Mac or an iPad or a watch or a phone, just check this, because like it'll tell you. It'll even tell you like the average like amount of days it goes without an update. It's super handy. So just use that. It's an amazing tool. It's never steered me wrong. I know nobody's perfect, but this has never been a problem for me. And that's why, everything I get, I think every Apple product I've purchased, major purchase, was always on day one, because I always know when to wait for that day one, and that's what I do.
Yeah, they're usually very accurate about, their
Hmm.
product cycles of how long it's been between an update. And, you see some of those like don't buy, and it's like
Yep.
it's always like the Apple TV, which like is seldom updated. But it's a very good guide. I've been using it probably since they launched the darn thing. And I think it's just one of those things that you have to know as somebody who likes Apple products, because they are so secretive. Whereas, Samsung or
Can be.
Google or whatever, they might tease something, or they might be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you got to wait X amount of months or whatever. But with Apple, it's like they'll scrap an entire project just because the timing isn't right, and then they'll put it off and
Sure.
retool it or something.
Air power. Yeah.
And I know Greg Thompson from the Mac Yak crew just
Hmm.
bought an iPad not long ago, and he's like, ah, damn, should have waited.
Oops. Sorry.
Got to check the buyer's guide.
But to your point though, you're right. Apple doesn't do that tease thing where they would like put a shadow of the phone up and say coming soon. They don't do that. But here's the cool thing:
Yeah.
they have like a built-in teasing mechanism throughout the leaker community. I'm sure Apple hates that to an extent, but like it's like free hype advertising. Like, oh my gosh. People get
Yeah.
talking about this stuff because of the leaks and the rumors. And I'm sure secretly somewhere at Apple, they're like, yeah, that's what we wanted to do. But
Yeah, and
it's just how
I'm
it is.
sure there's, their own sources are talking to like places like it's been confirmed, like the Wall Street Journal and stuff like
Oh,
that.
sure.
Apple like gives them little things, because I mean that's how they get hype for their own stuff. But
Yeah, and it's awesome because then other people get to kind of play detective, and they kind of feel like whether it's like set up or not intentionally by Apple or not, they get to play detective and figure this stuff out, and then they get to be a journalist, and then they get to have fun and post their thing, and then their readers see that and they spread it around, and honestly, it's gosh darn genius. Like,
yeah, I mean you have everybody guessing what is Apple going to do next,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not
Gets
really
people
bad
excited.
press. I mean people
Yeah.
are going to get their hopes up, but it's
Yeah.
speculation. What do you expect?
Speaking of getting your hopes up and stuff like that, I'm actually going to circle back to a question from Jonathan. Thanks for coming to the channel and watching the show. He said, when does the iPhone 12 come? So there were a lot of people who were like, where's the iPhone 12? And I understand normally around this time of year, Apple would introduce a new iPhone, but things are different, and probably due to COVID and logistics issues and stuff like that. So recently, I've been talking about this a bit, and leakers like John Prosser have definitely been talking about this. There wasn't going to be an iPhone 12 announced today. They were going to focus on other things, and that's just the situation right now. But no worries, you're going to see something in October. And if you want a bit of a sneaky peek, you can absolutely click through to the Computer Clan YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, and watch my review of what the iPhone 12 design is going to look like. And I'm holding one of the dummies right now, and it feels like it's a little loose. There you go, back together. But yeah, go ahead and check that out after the episode today. And CoinX,
Yeah,
that wasn't the official CoinX, was it? In the
I
chat?
don't think so.
Okay, because he's pretty big in the leaker community. Maybe someone was just using his name. But
I think that's the case from the message that was there.
okay,
But,
thank you, moderators.
I think the what's interesting is you have so much of the the build up to like the holiday season that Apple is
Yeah.
known for releasing products on for, and they set up iPads and iPhones and all this stuff, and then if it's not there, people are like, well, what am I going to do? I wanted to buy it. That's when I was expecting it.
But yeah, long story short, guys, do not worry. October, you're going to see some cool stuff with the iPhone. Trust me, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
And
that's what my guess would be too.
yeah, and we'll break down the news. Follow the channel, subscribe to the Computer Clan. We talk about this stuff. I talk about it on Twitter too. And if they do another big event thing, which they probably will, I'm sure Steve and I will be right back here talking to you. And whenever I can get my hands on this stuff, I do review episodes on my Krazy Ken's Tech Talk show. And sometimes I even do like raw, like first impressions, like I did with the Surface Duo on my other show, Tech Misadventures. And it's fun. We'll show you guys the stuff whenever it comes out and it's new and we can get our hands on it. We'll show it to you. No
That was
problem.
cool. I liked the Surface Duo. That was an interesting product.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. My full review on that is coming out. It was going to be Thursday, but because of today, it's going to be Friday now. Full review of everything. Yeah, dude, hardware-wise, it's beautiful, but we got some other things to talk about in regards to that. But that's for Friday. So yeah, Surface Duo coming up on Friday. Subscribe and stay tuned. But for today, we'll keep talking about the iPads. And the other big update for the iPad was A14. So this is Apple's new system on a chip. introduced with the iPad. It's A14 Bionic, I guess more specifically. I it didn't seem like it was a mega upgrade if I understood it correct, but still a speed bump. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've basically taken what the existing iPad ones. Obviously, when they redesign something, you're gonna hit some limits of that. But I mean, just them talking about like the 5 nanometer chip and everything like that,
That
like
was yeah.
that's. I mean, there's always the the pause in huge benefits of speed when you go to a different architecture, and they still made it faster. And it seems like it's the design of it sort of feels like the iPhones now, where it's the bezel's smaller and everything, and with a screen like that and the everything that they have there, I think it's a winning product. I'm again tempted to get one. I know you were talking about that. You're sort of
Yeah.
looking at it too. I don't know. Is it between this and the Pro, or you think you're pretty settled on a fancy colored one?
I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting this new Air because I'm still using my Air 2. And honestly, it's
Okay,
good.
wow.
It's good for what it does because it's mostly a consumption device. I always use it in the studio for my scripts because I don't like printing off a bunch of paper, so I use my iPad. But that's really the only productive thing I use it for. So I don't really need like Pro, but I would like something with faster performance. I would like something with a new, fresh battery in it because this one's starting to get a little eh. And more importantly,
Yeah.
I want something with better speakers. And like this thing, it's got the big stereo speakers on there now, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I was surprised that wasn't a thing already, but I don't really keep up with the iPad stuff. But that's good to know.
They were doing more of that stuff like in the Pro line. But yeah, now we have
Yeah,
it
I know
in
the
the
Pro
Air
had
line.
like 4 speakers, but hey, yeah, give us stereo, please. No more monophonic.
So yeah, overall, you're going to get about 40% faster CPU performance with the A14 Bionic, 30% on the graphics. But here's something I've been talking about a lot, and this is a big thing I'm excited for with Apple Silicon and the Macs. It's machine learning. So with this particular A14 Bionic upgrade, machine learning is 10 times faster, and that is the big jump.
Wow.
And that shit, guys, like, dude, I've seen some demos. Yes, they're demos, so they can be totally like, just like the original Macintosh. Oh, it's a Mac 128K. Nope, it's a 512K, but don't tell anybody that. They can be totally manufactured to work well. But anyway, I've seen some demos of how fast machine learning can be, especially with like video and like identifying objects in video and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, this is the future of speed. And it would be great for things like photos and video editing. Because like Final Cut Pro, just kind of a basic example, for years has had this feature of like it will do shot detection. It will tell like if you have people in your shot. It'll tell if it's like this kind of shot, and it will automatically sort them for you. But like imagine how fast it can do that with machine learning and how many like more things it can detect by. It could maybe even do things like nighttime and daytime, twilight. Like it could, I don't know, it could do all this crazy shit.
Yeah, and it probably like, oh, do you want me to stabilize this clip? Just learning in that aspect is really neat. And I mean, a lot of the stuff, it just like has endless possibilities.
Right, and I'm glad you brought that up because like one new thing they're doing with machine learning, and again, it's just going to be even faster with Apple Silicon, is like if you take a 16:9 video, for example, and you crop it for social, which is usually vertical because phone screens, well, now you sometimes need to manually keyframe your video back and forth to fit it in the frame. But no, I mean, with Smart Conform, it will automatically follow the subject. Adobe Premiere's been doing that for a little bit, but now Final Cut has it. So.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, that's just a basic example of how machine learning can make your life. I was going to think of a random number. 10 times better? I don't know. 10 times
Accept
faster,
the
10
learn.
times better.
Just accept it.
So that's pretty exciting. It has, again, Apple Pencil 2 support. You can have your cases for it and all this cool stuff. I don't really need the pencil. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is USB-C though. I mean,
yes.
No more Lightning connector.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's great because I mean, and they made we sort of skipped over it, but they made a bit of a stink of taking the power adapter away from the watch, and I'm like, all right, I could sort of see that, but thankfully they're still giving you a 20 watt, I think, USB-C cord and the brick in the iPad, which is good. But USB-C is great. I'm all for it. It gives you more accessories. You get a wired network connection, all this stuff. You can put a hub in there. It's just fantastic, and it just opens you up to a bunch of other products and stuff that you could connect to that without worrying about the Lightning connector. And I think it's just about time that they they slowly transition all the iPads over to that because, I think that is just the future of things. And I'm just very glad that they're doing it now and they're not waiting 5 more years to make the switch to that.
Oh, totally. And I'm actually glad you brought that up because, yes, we did gloss over that. The Apple Watch packaging no longer includes the power brick because Apple's making some environmental efforts to reduce e-waste. And that's something I talked about in my iPhone 12 episode. That was probably about a month ago already. So everyone that worked on getting those rumors pulled together nailed that one.
I wonder if they'll do that with the iPhone also, or if they're just doing that with the Apple Watch.
No, I think they're going to do it with the iPhone as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they kept it for the iPad, so they did do that.
Well, I think I mean the iPad is special too because it needs a lot more power than a phone or a watch.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Your watch will be happy with 5 watts, but your iPad will take like days to charge off of that.
Yeah, so that's pretty slick that it is USB-C. Was the non-Air USB-C as well? Did I miss that?
No, the first one is Lightning.
That's still Lightning? Okay, that makes sense. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because I was doing the spec side-by-side thing. It's still Lightning.
Yeah.
But I think eventually that'll be USB-C also because then they just got to make one accessory. I mean, manufacturers would love that. All these accessory makers just have one and it'll fit with everything. But
yeah, and I don't exactly remember what the camera specs were of the last one, but we do have a 12 megapixel rear camera with focus pixels, which helps autofocus go really fast, and a 7 megapixel front-facing FaceTime HD camera for your video chats and all that. So, yeah, some nice camera upgrades there.
Yeah, I think the only difference between the cameras on the front of that Air versus the Pro is you don't get like the portrait functionality that you do with the Pro, but I mean that's a small trade-off, I guess. No Memoji stickers or any of that stuff.
Right, because you don't have the true depth camera, so you can't do like the facial muscle tracking and all that stuff. I thought this was interesting, and maybe I'm just missing the fine print here, but right here it says 10 times faster machine learning, and then if you scroll down a little bit, it says 70% faster machine learning. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that's not the same thing, but there is a little footnote.
Those numbers are different.
Those numbers are different. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about that one. But either way, it's faster, so whatever, right? So, that is the 4th generation iPad Air. I will be getting one of those. I will review it as soon as I can. It's coming out in October. We don't have a solid date yet, but we have a month. We have a month where it's coming out, so yay.
I'm just very excited to play around with the USB functionality in that, because you know what I'm going to do, right, Ken?
Are you going to like wire it somehow to like connect to your Power Mac G3 and like
close.
Apple Talk that? What are you gonna do?
We're gonna plug in an image writer 2 to it. That's what I'm gonna try to do.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll have the new Apple Watch Series 6 and the iPad Air 4 as soon as I can, and subscribe and stay tuned, and I will do reviews on that stuff, and it's going to be a crap ton of fun, especially for a guy like me that hasn't updated those devices in like 5 years.
More than 5 years in some cases, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's true. So, let's talk about one more thing, as Steve Jobs would say, and I literally mean that. It's called Apple One More Thing. Secret Easter egg, just kidding. That was stupid. So what is...
Hey, you said it, not me, buddy.
I know. So what is Apple One? Well, Apple One was the first computer Apple sold, in 1976, but no, that's not, even though it has like the same name, that is not what this is. Apple One is a service bundle with a couple tiers, and the highest tier includes Apple Music, which I just subscribed to recently and I love it, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, iCloud, Apple News Plus, and Apple Fitness Plus. So you can get all of that grouped together, and there's these different tiers starting at $14.95 a month, which saves you $6 a month for these 4. And you can go all the way up to Premier for $29.95 a month, which saves you about $25 a month with all of these services, and that includes the family sharing, by the way. So if you have a family, you got kids, you got your spouse, like you can get Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, 2 terabytes of iCloud storage, Apple News Plus, and Apple Fitness Plus for everybody to share for only $25 a month. That is pretty freaking nice. That's like almost half off of how you would do that the other way.
Yeah, and I think that's really gonna to lure people to these bundles because I mean I have the iCloud 2 terabyte one and I think
Same
what is
here.
it $9 a month or
I think
something
so.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean for just $20 more, that let's say how much is Apple Music? How much is that a month?
I think it's 10
I
bucks a
forget.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, so
For
if you're
one
doing
person.
like Apple Music and the iCloud thing, maybe you're not a big TV watcher, maybe you're not a big game player, so you might not necessarily want to subscribe to Apple TV Plus or Apple Arcade or the news or the fitness stuff individually, but it's like, all right, well, for just a little bit more, I get all of that, then I could
Sure.
just dabble in it if I want. I think
Hmm.
that's sort of the mindset here, and I do like how there are different tiers for that. I'm not necessarily
Hmm.
going to be a customer of this, but it's nice to know that there are bundling options available, and you could sort of
Absolutely.
kind of mix and match there. They give you some options.
Right. Yeah. So it's pretty sweet that they have that now. I currently only use iCloud and Apple Music, and honestly, I should really like downgrade the iCloud because it's like I have the 2 terabyte, but I only use like 200 gigs. Not even. I should turn that back down.
Yeah, I think my problem is I just have so many old devices backed up to it, and I'm like, I don't want to delete the backup.
Right? Yeah, the backups. I like iCloud. I know some people are like, oh, I don't want to pay. I don't want to put stuff in the cloud. But like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking convenient. It's only like $3 a month for like 200 gigs. It's like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the lowest tier, I mean, it's what is it,
Like
99
99
cents for 50
cents. Yeah.
gigs. I mean, I hope they're going to update those
99
soon because
cents.
I've been seeing a lot of people being like,
Itchy.
I'm up to the 2 gig terabytes. Like, what's next? And with all like the devices you have with these phones and stuff. I mean, I know it's HVAC encoding and stuff. The photos and videos get compressed, but I think eventually they're going to have another tier for the big data people that
Could
like to
be.
store a lot of pictures and stuff.
Since you were talking about HEVC quick, I know I tweeted about this, but oh gosh, one thing I love about this new iMac is the hardware accelerated HEVC encoding, which renders HEVC. You ready for this, guys? 60 times faster than my MacBook Pro. It is the T2 chip, man. It makes that shit so fast. And here's the cool thing. That means my 4K videos that I put on YouTube will look the same, but they take up a third of the file size, which means the uploads are 3 times faster. That makes a huge difference when an hour of upload or 20 minutes of upload because
Oh
the
yeah.
compression,
Jeez.
but it doesn't look worse. It looks the same. So magic. Anyway,
Now what Mac did you have before? What year?
it was a 2013 Retina MacBook Pro 15-inch.
Okay.
Zero hardware acceleration for any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I have a 2012 Mac Pro, and I did that open core modification on it. So I have a RX
Oh
580
yeah.
graphics card on it, and that machine won't play HVAC stuff, and it's very sluggish with it. But with that card in there, it's like a brand new machine, and
Yeah.
I could totally see the benefits, especially on a killer machine like yours. It just like burns through it like it's nothing. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's nuts. Guys, if anyone else wants to see my full review of this new iMac, I did do an episode on my channel. I also did an episode comparing the nano texture screen versus the standard screen. I was surprised by the results. I officially, actually, spoiler, I officially returned the nano texture today. It's just not worth it. It makes the text too soft.
That was surprising to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why? I mean, I understand trade-offs, but like, really?
Yeah, it was a little much, but oh well. That's a rabbit hole, but you guys can check out those episodes on our channel, on my channel, very recent, so they're like right at the top. Anyway, UHD bits, I saw your super chat. Sorry, we were just talking a lot here, so I'm not ignoring it. I have it scrolled right here. I freeze the super chat so I don't miss them, so I really appreciate it. He said, "Hey Ken, love your videos, man. Currently, I just installed the first version of Chromium OS from 2009 in a VM. I don't think I've used that. Make great vids. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That means a lot." So. Yeah, that was a bit of an iMac rabbit hole. But anyway, yes, that is Apple One. If you use a lot of the services, that could save you some dinero. And I think it's available like in like 6 countries right now, I believe is what they said. I don't remember exactly all the things.
Yeah, and I think that was the fitness is coming later on. I think they said.
Yeah, they said like later in fall, fitness is coming out. I don't remember all the
There,
fine print.
there's always something that like they're like, oh, it'll be in the fall. On one of these Apple events, it's always like, get it later.
Dude, I love that. Like, fall is good. I mean, it's Techtember, it's Techtober, it's a good time. The holidays and everything are going on. But like, some people abuse that thing. Okay, here's my example. Remember when the Mac Pro trash can was introduced and it was coming fall 2013? It came out like December 18th. That's like
How is that fall?
3 days left of fall on the calendar. But like, it's blizzarding outside. It's like, okay, Apple, Thank you. And then they don't update it for like 5 years.
Of course not. Why should they?
So someone in the chat, hey, I'm really sorry. I think your name. What language is that? Is that Korean or something? But they asked, when will the iPhone be released? iPhone 12. Just stay tuned for October. More to come in October. So that's actually kind of a nice segue to. We were also going to talk about what Apple didn't release. And again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let us know. This is a live chat. We'll try to answer them as best we can. But yeah, another thing I want to do today is talk about stuff that didn't come out. Now, if you follow leakers, especially if you follow us, we talk about this stuff too. We knew there was going to be no iPhone 12 during this event, so we weren't disappointed. But there were a lot of people who were. So like I said earlier, stay tuned for October. You're going to see a lot more then. I also did an episode on my channel about the iPhone 12 and what the new design is going to look like. Go ahead and check that out. Subscribe and stay tuned for more good stuff. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. So stay tuned for that. But there's some other stuff that Apple is still going to announce this year, and the two that are really sticking out for me are ARM-based Macs. We're going to see the first Apple Silicon Mac later this year. So they're moving away from Intel, and this is probably going to be, what do you think, Steve? Like a 12-inch MacBook form factor, maybe? Apple Silicon?
Yeah, they're going to start out with either a laptop or... Yeah, start with something small. I would almost say the Mac Mini, but I feel like with the feedback they're probably getting from that system, they probably want to retool it a bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was either one.
Yeah. And UHD said, another super chat, thank you, by the way. He said he's still using a Mac Mini 2011 as his daily. That's pretty awesome. So pretty sweet. Yeah, and I think it makes more sense for them. Yeah, again, start small, test it out, and then bring it into the big thing. But yeah, do like a laptop, because Apple sells way more laptops than they do desktops. So I think that'd be a good way for them to like spread it out.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they're going to do an iMac this time around. I mean, the first Intel machines in 2006 were the MacBook Pro and the iMac, but I think their laptops are much more profitable and portable for them. I think a lot more people buy them. And with the iMac that was just released, I mean, I think that'll be something to hold off people for a while. And I think they did that intentionally. They're like, hey, look, here's an iMac. That's yours for a bit. Let us work on some other stuff.
But yeah, Carson asked, what about AirPower and all that stuff? Yeah, that's actually perfect transition here. Yeah, they didn't talk about AirPower, they didn't talk about AirTags, and they didn't talk about the new AirPod Studio, which we're still expecting to see. I don't know about AirPower. That thing's been canceled, and it's like resurging. That's like Apple's multi-device charging mat. Nothing official for this year, but we will most likely see AirTags and AirPod Studios, which are Apple's like over-ear circumaural headphones, wireless headphones. That's what's rumored to be coming up. But yeah, AirTags, that was something I thought we would see. I even put it in my thumbnail, and then I changed it to Apple One because they didn't actually talk about it, so sneaky. So AirTags is like a Tile competitor. It's a little tracking thing you can put on something if it gets lost. You can ping it with your phone. You can use AR with your phone, so you can like have a virtual balloon like float up, and you can be like, oh, it's over there, and you can find where stuff is. But yeah, nothing official yet. AirTags. And I made a joke tweet saying, we didn't see AirTags during the event. Maybe they misplaced them. But it's to help you find stuff.
I think they'll be really cool when they come out. I think that the sticking point is going to be like, how cheap are these little tags, and what's the functionality like? I mean, having that built into the OS will be great, because I've used a few different of those tracking things, and it's like if Bluetooth is off or whatever, it's useless, or the battery dies, and it's like, what?
Yeah, and I know Apple's working on like this crazy technology they've been testing with some things to like help like devices find each other. Like it's more than just Bluetooth. It's like Bluetooth on steroids. It's got this name that I frankly don't remember right now. Oh, hey, Crazy Tech Review said AirTags is still in the description. Hey, thanks for pointing that out. I will have to edit that. But hey, just to give John Prosser a little plug here, he worked with C Concept Creator, and they did like this 3D render of what the AirTags could look like. So nothing official yet, but yeah, go ahead and if you'd like, follow C Concept Creator and John Prosser. You can usually get some pretty good leaks, so not a problem there.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see if they're like, I mean, if it's Apple, they'll probably have like a sealed battery, but a lot of these units have like a replaceable battery, or they have some program where when it's exhausted, you send it in. So I'm just curious how Apple will end up, working with that.
Yeah. I was wondering the same thing. Like, how is the battery going to work on these things? Like, do you recharge them, and how much can they recharge? You know, because they seem really small. But you know, knowing Apple, they're probably going to make them last a while. I know some people are like, "Ha ha ha, Apple make things last a while." Well, hey, I mean, I used my computer for 7 years before I replaced it. This watch is 5.5 years old. Like, you can get a lot of time out of these things. But they're also going to
Yeah,
make
I
them.
mean,
Yeah,
if the watch could hold a pretty good battery in it, I mean,
yeah,
if you have half the capacity of the watch and it's not doesn't have a display, it's not doing all this calculation and stuff.
yeah.
I could see it being a rechargeable. I think that would probably be a game changer for them because all these little coin batteries
Wireless
just don't
charging
have that
too.
much life in them.
Yeah, they could probably just wirelessly charge them. You know, put them on the air power whenever that comes out, and it charges that thing. I don't know, but
Yep. Yep.
the thing is, knowing Apple, they're gonna make it, you know, easily recyclable. You could probably just bring them right to them, and they'll, you know, take care of it for you, just like they do with your other trade-ins and stuff. So, sure, they will handle that just okay.
Yeah, excited to see when that comes out because I always lose something. So
Yeah. So for the people who were wondering like what AirTag is, again, it's not official, but it's like a little tracking device. I'm just going to use the fancy sci-fi term. It's a tracking device that you can put on something. So if you lose it, Apple can help you find it with like AR. It will like, you can have like a balloon pop up and like find it. Oh, it's across the room. It's here, you know, or whatever, you know. It can make a ping noise. Like it'll put it on a map for you and help you locate where it is. Like that's what it is. It's a little tag to help you find stuff that you might misplace, like your
yeah,
dignity.
and that's long gone. But I mean, the ones I've used, like the battery will die, like just as I lost the thing. It's like, oh, where are my keys?
Of course.
Oh, the battery's dead. How convenient.
Yeah, so I think Apple's taking some extra time to make sure these things have very long-lasting battery, low power use, and all that good stuff. Superphaser asked, what do you think will be the first Mac to have Apple Silicon? Yeah, circling back a little bit, yeah, 12-inch MacBook Pro. It's probably going to be the first Apple Silicon thing. It seems like lately, Apple's been like only using like the 12-inch like for a testing ground, because I know when they like first did the laptop redesign, it was like for the 12-inch, like back in 2015, where they tested the butterfly keyboard and all that stuff. So that's probably what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the specs of like such a machine. I'm sure they're just gonna go for like touting how long the battery life is and how powerful
so.
it is and this and that.
That'll be a big seller.
Exactly. I think, and look, if they can make an iPad last that long, you have all that space under the keyboard to shove a battery in. That's going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just wanted to address one of these comments here where, hey, I'm not going to do this whole Apple versus Android thing. Hell, I'm testing a Pixel and a freaking Microsoft Duo right now. I have more Android phones in my studio than Apple products, or than Apple phones. So it's like, hey, I like them both. But they said, like, switch to Android and save money today. May I remind you that the Samsung Galaxy S20 is a $1,000 plastic phone, just in case you forgot that. I'm going to remind you about that.
Yeah, I think these Android companies are like, wait a second, people will pay $1,000 for a phone? Hold my beer. Let's do this.
Yeah. Dude, some people make me crack up. Anyway, so yeah, if there's any other questions you guys have about any particular topics that Apple talked about today, or any other like future things coming up for the rest of the year, let us know. We'll do our best to answer them. This will be like our dedicated Q&A time, because we're only an hour in. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna chill with y'all. But yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. Or if you just want to talk tech, bring it up. We'll cover it all.
Yeah,
Man,
Ken knows the new stuff. I know the old stuff.
Yeah, well, I know some old. Look at this cube look at this G4 cube, man. Like that
It's
thing's
so beautiful. Pop quiz, hot shot. What was the specs? No.
It had a G4 in it.
The 4 stands for 4.
Ashar asks, will they allow Android use with AirTags? I mean, I highly doubt it. Let's see here. Raw Elements. Hey, how's it going, man? When will you do a video on your TAM? I'd like to, like, soon. I've had that. Oh my gosh, I've had that thing for a year already, and I haven't even turned it on.
Can I come over? I want
sure.
to use it.
Like, no freaking joke. Seriously, I wanted to save it for a collab episode. Like, seriously, if any like YouTuber with even like a small audience wants to freaking collab on shit, like, dude, just send me an email. Just let me know. I love collabing. Hey, Bruce is in the chat. He's asking where the 2VX is. It's laying It's laying on its side, like right up against the wall, like right over there.
Bruce is just like going like, oh, why?
I'm sorry. Nicolay asked, why is the audio behind the video? Just refresh. I've noticed YouTube Live has been doing that lately. I don't think it's anything on our end. I've noticed that with a couple other people's streams as well. I will gladly check though quick because I'm curious.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I don't know if it's just like because everyone is on video conferencing these days, but it's I think YouTube's just stressing out.
It's probably stressed. I mean, I just checked it on my dashboard. I mean, it looks fine.
Yeah, I had to refresh it because like there was like a 60-second delay of like me watching you, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Honestly, I could probably turn on my FaceTime camera and you could see me on Skype. I didn't stress test that, but considering we're running all this stuff and we're only using 6.7% of the CPU, we could probably turn on some more cameras.
That's amazing, man. That is real. Dude, how many cores did that thing have? Jeez.
10, yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, guys, if you guys are new to the channel, first of all, welcome. But if you've been here a while, you know I used to do these streams on my little old laptop. Dude, I couldn't go to 1080p with NDI running, so I couldn't have a guest in 1080p. I'd have to go down to 720p, and the fans would be exploding on there. But this iMac is just like, yeah, whatever. Just press the button.
Well, you need the 1080p to see the awesomeness that is the shirt.
See,
so
there you go.
That's why.
Yeah. Oh, man. Ashar asks, will the iPad 8th Gen use Apple Pencil 2? No, the iPad 8th Gen is Apple Pencil 1, but the new iPad Air will use Apple Pencil 2, so feel free to spend more money.
That's a quality Apple answer for you.
Yeah, there you go. Carson asks, do you think Mac Silicon will have passive cooling? For some models, I think so, because the 12-inch MacBook, the first 12-inch MacBook, I think, was completely fanless, right? And that was Intel, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I don't remember.
Or is it the MacBook
I just
Air?
remember the first MacBook Air had the same hard drive option as the iPod. I just remember that.
The PATA drives. Yeah, I got one sitting with an SSD in it, just like sitting over there somewhere. It's the one I used in my 8-Bit Guy collab episode. The one that was open, sitting on the table. That was a first-gen MacBook Air with an SSD PATA drive. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! Put that drive in an iPod.
Steve, that is a great idea. Holy dude! I got like 4 old iPods just lying around. Well, I should freaking do that. Like, why the hell not? Okay,
Finder's
make a note
fee.
about that. Finder's fee.
Yeah.
Anonymous Freak. I trust him. He said, yeah, a 12-inch MacBook was fanless, so that confirms what I said. I had another question. What iPhone do I use? I currently use an 11 Pro, but in a month, I probably won't be. We'll see.
Oh.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm still using an 8, so I'd be happy with an 11 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I get the new 12, I want to at least review it, right? But if I really like it, I might just trade this in and get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about like the specs of it. Of course, I mean that's what you're interested in too. But like, what's going to be better about it? You know.
Mm-hmm. Anson X10 said, call up Dang Pods. He does iPods with the. He has not replied to any of my YouTube comments or tweets, but that's okay. I'm sure he's a busy guy. His channel is growing hella fast. Here's some perspective. Oh, yeah. We hit 200,000 subs on the same day. He's like at 320 now. He's going fast, man.
It's just, I mean, it's funny because, you know, you think and I think, or somebody thinks of something in a certain way, like an iMac or an iPod of like, oh, that wasn't too long ago. And then, you know, somebody comes along and they do reviews on that product or they show it off and just it gets so much attention and an audience to it. And you're like, wow, that was released 20 years ago. Or wow, this thing is now like something that people are nostalgic about because like, you know, but to me and you, it's probably like, oh yeah, that's an iPod. Yeah, everyone had one of those. Like, yeah, they released that in 2001. That was only a few years ago. Oh wait.
Yeah, 2001. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would like to do some more like iPod tinkering. It's just, you know, I don't want to take too much time right now to get like too real talky, but like again, I do all of this YouTube stuff while balancing a full-time job, and it's just really hard to squeeze in more stuff, guys. I have tons of other video ideas like I want to do episodes on, but it's just really hard to squeeze that in right now. But hey, the sooner we can make this a full-time thing, which I'm working my butt off to make sure that happens, we'll make more stuff. We'll make way more episodes and live broadcasts once we hit that point. But if you want to help us get there soon, yeah, absolutely. If you want to help us get there sooner, There's a nice Patreon link in the description if you want to help us get independent much sooner. Or if you want to do a one-time donation, there's that super chat button down there too. So, ka-ching.
You don't need to have a real job, Ken. You could, just lock the door to the lair and they just can't find you. That's all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, so what, they want to say, like, you're 5 years behind on the mortgage for your studio. I got some people now asking what my full-time job is. Honestly, I'm very grateful for it. It's video production. It's post-production, video work, and I love doing it. So it's a lot of similar stuff that I do, like, in the post-production world for my YouTube channel, except it's for somebody else. So.
Do you ever get tired of it? Like, it's like, oh, I did this stuff all day at work, and now I have to go home and do it.
I hope my manager isn't watching, and if you are, hi. It was fun watching the Apple event with you today. You're awesome. It's the other way around, actually. I will do so much stuff for my YouTube channel, I'll get, like, tired at work. But, like, I still get my shit done. Like, it takes a toll on you. Like, it's sometimes, like, 80 hours a week, and, like, at least it's something I like doing. Like, I know some people that work, like, 6 to 7 days a week, and it's not something they like doing, and I can't even imagine that. That sounds horrible. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I mean, I actually meant more of, like, do you get bored doing the same type of editing stuff that you do, or is it different enough where, you have a different creative output, of course, for your personal stuff? Does that keep it, differentiated for you? That helps you out?
Yeah, I would say it's different enough. Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, totally. I'm just catching up on the chat here, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of chat, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate. How many views have we had so far? Let's take a look. We have had
600,
almost 10,000. Holy sh! That was my goal. Right now we have 625 watching. Yeah, total views just broke 9,000. My goal was 10,000 for today, so let's beat that.
Smash.
I was thinking of the dude from what was it? The Wild Thornberries? Was that who he was? Where he was like smashing.
Yeah.
Smashing. It's been a long time.
Nigel, yes.
Nine. Yeah, that's him. Oh, it's been a long time. So I got a lot of people are asking what OS is the iMac running in the background. It's running Tiger, but through my magic creative powers, it's running Big Sur, aka it has a screenshot of Big Sur open in full screen, so it looks like it's running Big Sur.
You cheated.
You cheated. Hey, speaking of software, iOS 14 tomorrow. Get ready, guys. It's official, out of beta. So that's coming tomorrow.
That's gonna be cool. Yeah, there's I did not put the beta on my device because I don't have a spare, but there's some things like that are in that I'm looking forward to. So I'm probably gonna skip the first release because I've been bit before by iDiskWoz and Tiger and stuff like that. So I'm burned severely from that. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. But
I always wait. A High Sierra was kind of a problem. That was like the big last straw. Like, okay, I'm done updating on .0s. I can't do this crap anymore.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Nigel Thornberry. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Oh, excuse me. Jack said he has the same iMac G5 in the background, but mine has no camera. Cool. But secret, this is actually an Intel system. It is not a G5, but it does look similar on the outside. Yeah. Zachy said, hey, Krazy Ken, love your videos. Keep up the great work. Hey, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Any idea when the iPhone event will be? Sometime in October. I'm guessing a month from now, so keep your eyes peeled. And Carson asked, what is your goal on YouTube or beyond? Goal for YouTube is make this a full-time job, and honestly, it's getting closer like every week. So I try not to
good luck.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. I try not to talk about it a lot because one, I slightly believe in superstition, and I don't like to jinx myself, but also two, I don't know who other employers might be watching this.
They stopped watching about an hour and a half. You're good.
But no, yeah, it is something I'm working. Hey, Cool Star's in the chat, like the legit Cool Star, Cool Star organization. Let's see, he might be the only person here who ran High Sierra since it was beta and had no problems. Hey, that's good for you. I just wanted to make sure no one was impersonating your name because I feel like we had another impersonator here earlier today impersonating someone else's name. But yeah, I trust you're the OG?
Bunch of doppelgangers.
Yeah. Yeah, cool star. Wow, I remember like you were watching our stuff probably like way back like in 2012, 2013. I remember you on our webcast and stuff. It's cool that just to see how big your Twitter has gotten. Holy cow. Christopher said, loving the content, guys. Looking forward to the next breakdown. Yeah, I'm sure if Apple does like a big event, even if they don't do an event, I'm sure Steve and I will still have plenty to talk about, but I'm sure they'll do an event.
I see a question here about trying the Snow Leopard beta on PowerPC. And if I may, I have not tried that, but it's very interesting to sort of learn about that. And it's basically, obviously, a beta of Snow Leopard that has been cobbled together to work on PowerPC, which is all cool. I mean, I'm all for trying to make these 68K machines and PowerPC machines last longer, but it's like, at the end of the day, what software can you run on that you just can't run on, let's say, a Leopard machine?
Sure.
And I think that is look, you got bragging rights. You're running Snow Leopard on a PowerPC machine. Hey, that's awesome. What can you do with it that you can't do on a Leopard machine? I mean, maybe I'm just being silly because I want it to be usable, but
yeah, it's just cool to see the 10.6 on there. I have tried it. Yep, I installed 10.6 beta on my, what was it? I think it was an Imac G5 or something like that. But yeah, it did boot up. It was Snow Leopard. It was kind of clunky. Like some things just were very laggy, but it was a beta, so what'd you expect? But I wanted to do an episode about it, but like literally, there was nothing interesting to talk about. There was nothing like visually different or feature. I didn't see anything. So I tested.
I did the same thing. I put it on a G5 tower I had, and I started poking around, and I thought maybe I'll record something. I'm like, oh, let me try this software. Like nothing worked. And I'm like, okay, this is going nowhere.
Yeah. And like, I used to do this thing. So for those who don't know, I run a show called Krazy Ken's Tech Misadventures. It's like an unscripted raw show. Like, hey, let's try to fix this computer. Hey, let's try to put this square peg in this round hole and see if it works. What I used to do was I would start rolling the camera before like any prep, and it resulted in like poorly edited videos, too much fluff, and also just a lot of unused footage. So what I do now is I like to do a little bit of testing ahead of time before I film, and like that Snow Leopard thing was a great example, because otherwise I would have filmed probably for like a half hour and got nothing out of it, and that would just be a stupid waste.
Waste of disk space, yeah.
Yeah, just and time. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. What else is going on here? A Septic Outlaw. That's a cool username. Septic Outlaw. I said, hey, what are those old computers in the background? Wow, how much time do you have? Just kidding. We have
Ken and I could each spend hours talking about our collections. Yeah.
We have the first 64-bit Intel iMac back there. We have a PowerMac G4 Cube there. We have a Newton eMate 300 there. We have the first-gen iPad there. We have the DOS Dude and Rutk Mods. What do you want to call this? Brainchild? I don't know what you want to call this thing. The hodgepodge. But it's really cool. It's an iBook G3 clamshell with the EMI shield removed, electromagnetic interference shield removed, so it's clear. But it has a fan in there with a G4, so it looks like a G3, but it's actually a G4. And I should probably return this soon. I've had it for like over a year. Greg and Colin had this cool idea where, since they worked on the project together and I did the video, I would sign it and then they would sign it. So we'll all have our signatures on it. I put mine on there. Currently, that's all there is because I still have it. I'm stupid. I'm so sorry. And then here we have a Mac Plus that has a 512K case on it, but it has Plus internals. And Commodore 64 and... Ooh, this one up here, I haven't done an episode on this yet. This is a prototype. This was actually never released. This was the third gen, I think, Apple Interactive Television set-top box from, I think, 1993. Steve is going to help me with that one.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I spent like 8 hours on a live stream getting that thing booted up.
Yeah, Steve, for those who don't know, Steve does some heavy lifting, and I kind of just like borrow from his heavy lifting, but I try to make it up to him.
He supports me on Patreon. It's okay.
I do that too. Yeah. There's this like expression that my department director used to say, like, Ken, when it comes time to move the piano, don't be the guy that picks up the bench. I feel like sometimes I just pick up the bench with all this stuff. Steve's the piano mover.
Yes, I play that role a lot in my life, but I think it was funny because you tweeted that picture of the set-top box, and I think we had a conversation on iMessage, and you sort of had the reaction of like, oh, I'm sort of getting waist deep into the water here already. Like you were like, oh, this will just be easy. I'm like, well, wait a second there, buddy. There's
Yeah.
a lot going on there. Yeah, that's an interesting machine. I mean, there are two widely known prototypes. There's probably more of them, but just quick story on that. It's a piece that I got in my collection ages ago. It was one of these things that was on eBay. There was like a boatload of them for $50, and that's when I got mine. And you can't really do much with it because it was expecting a network, signal that is not from what you would think is an Ethernet port on there. It's actually not. It's a different type of a connection there. And so, you need a lot of like old server hardware with the right mix of software and stuff just to like boot the thing up. You can sort of boot them up depending on the ROM you have. I was actually successful in loading a System 7.5, I think it was, image. And the only way to see if the thing works, because you get no video output, you get no sound or anything. So the only way to actually see if it got actually booted up was you put that disk in a similar Macintosh, like an LC 475 or something like that, and you set everything up and you turn on Apple Talk and you turn on file sharing, and you give it a name that you're going to find, and you tell it to share out, I think it was a printer or the modem port, whatever, and you set that up and you shut it down, and then you put that disk inside the set-top box, and then you wait. And if you're successful, you'll see it under the chooser. And I went one step further. And I installed Timbuk2, which is a remote desktop type software. And so I said, well, let me see if I could do this. Now, of course, it was over, a local talk cable. So this thing was slow, but it worked. I was able to remote in. I tried to dump the ROM and stuff, and it kept freezing up. But it's pretty neat, the things you could actually do with it. And, I have an earlier prototype, too, that I haven't had much luck with. But they are pretty interesting machines. Just the design of it, too. I mean, it looks great on your shelf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a conversation piece for sure.
It's a total conversation piece, and I can't wait to do more with it because there's a cool story behind it. And in a way, you could argue it was Apple's first product because it was ITV, interactive television.
Yeah. Yeah, I still remember Steve Jobs saying something like that, like when they were introducing the Apple TV.
He said, yeah.
Stick with the name, otherwise.
Right. Also, addressing the comment earlier about the syncing issue, I think it was just with Steve's feed, and I'm sorry I missed a little switch. So hopefully it's fixed now. Again, brand new streaming setup. Hey, if that's a pretty bad issue, I'm sorry, I'm dumb, but hopefully that was an easy fix. And
it's just I'm running on an LC 040 processor, Ken. I need the full 040, and then I'll be okay. So
a general lesson. Picture usually takes a longer time to travel than sound, and we had everything synced in the preview, but when you start encoding and streaming to a server, sometimes things slow down a little bit, but audio typically is still, it's a smaller file, we'll just say, to keep it simple, than a picture of video would be.
Yeah.
So then sometimes the video falls behind, and you got to artificially put an effect in there that lines it back up. So hopefully it's all good now. Thank you, audio.
People are just watching the flying toasters anyway. So
yeah. The good old After Dark. I remember when I first saw that, I was in a shoe store, and I saw this old Apple Vision or Apple multi-scan monitor with the toasters on it. It was a Power Max 6100 or something sitting down there, and I'm like, dude, this is great. It's 2009, and he's got a 1995 Power PC thing there.
Yeah, what was your first computer? Was it a Mac or?
It was a Mac, yeah. Here's the thing. I was 2 years old, so I don't remember what it was. But I've seen some photos, and it looks like a Performa, but I can't see the badge. And I know some Power Macs had that identical white tower case.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it was either a Performa or a Power Mac that had that white look with the kind of baby elephant feet sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's probably the 6400, something like that.
Yeah. It was probably one of those. But yeah, I remember that System 7. Dude, here's the thing. I was 2 or 3 years old, whatever, and I could figure it out super quick. Put the CD in, click. I'm sure my parents helped me the first time when I was 3 or whatever. But I would just use it, and it was no problem. It was just an intuitive system. So I'm not gonna say I stuck with it because then our family. This is again back when I was 5 or 6. Not really any democracy here. We switched to a Windows PC. But it was a Windows Millennium Edition PC. Not a good impression. There were a lot of problems, and the hardware also had problems. It was a $1,600 build. I mean, it was cool for some things, but like it just had so many gosh darn problems. So then we switched back to an iMac, the one that I actually have in the background here. That was what we switched back
Oh,
to.
cool.
And it's been great. Still works. That was the first computer I cut video on. That is basically where my career started, was on that computer. And that's why I like putting it in the background. It's kind of like a throwback. So
That's a pretty good upgrade. Those are pretty good machines.
yeah, dude. Yeah, this thing is freaking nice.
But the 6400, that was right around that just either the tail end or the beginning of or the middle of that clone era. So you had all these machines that Apple was using essentially the same board for, just with different shapes and sizes.
Right, and it's so fun because like back then when I was playing Tonka on CD-ROM, I wasn't thinking about that stuff. But as I researched that stuff, I'm like, whoa, there's all this other history that I didn't even know when I was like 3 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
And Coolstar said Windows 2000 and Windows XP were such massive upgrades. I'll totally agree. I will say that when we upgraded the computer from ME to XP, game changer. It was so much more solid. The hard drive, it was an IBM Death Star, so no surprise. The hard drive took a crap, but the operating system, when we switched to XP, holy balls. Solid. XP, I'm just going to give you props, Microsoft. I said this before. XP was probably the best software release of anything ever. It has withstood the test of time. It's still used now. Like, I don't know if it should be, but it is. Like, it was solid, man. It was good. XP was the shit.
I'm very curious because I was talking to you a little bit while back, and obviously you did the video on Windows ME and everything.
Oh yeah.
And what sparked my mind is the OS 10 public beta came out just a few days before Windows ME, and so when you were teasing, I'm going to do something about OS, I thought for sure you were going to talk about the OS 10 public beta. I'm like, oh, that's what Ken's going to do. Mm-hmm. That's what he's going to do. And then you tweeted out Windows ME. I'm like, oh. But I was thinking, I was originally thinking, it might be cool to compare like the public beta of OS 10 versus Windows ME. But, there wasn't really any software out for the public beta. It was very buggy, obviously, because it's a beta, and it's sort of unfair to compare it to ME, although I guess you could say they both had their quirks there. But I would think it would be interesting to do a little bit further than that and go to XP versus macOS 10.1. So I think 10.1 is where it really just started. That was the first release I bought. I saw the box of the thing. And it was usable. Now, there were still problems with it, but I think it was usable. So I think that, that might be a good thing to explore, of just, get two period appropriate machines, try and do some basic tasks on it, and just see where we end up with it. But that might be fun to play around with.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how, like, specifically Windows ME got such a bad rep. I know it had, like, bugs and all that shiz, but we also have to remember, like, it was still based on 9X, the Windows 95 quote-unquote core. It's probably but the XP was, like, the first consumer product that was based on NT, which was used by the pros, and it was good. It was good shit.
And I'll address the same comment you did. I think that we are fans of technology, Ken.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we're fans of a specific company. I mean, I actually like older Apple stuff a heck of a lot more than I like the newer Apple stuff, because that's just really what I'm into. If I need to do work on a machine, you give me a machine that's powerful, that has enough memory and has good software, and I'll use it. I'll take the operating system of OS 10 over Apple's hardware any day of the week. I mean, that's why I'm still here, is for the software side of things, because it lets me do the work I want to do. If Microsoft or Oracle or Sun Microsystems comes back from the dead or something and blows it out of the water with software, I'm abandoning ship. But right now I get by, so that's what I'm using. Use what you got. I mean,
I know this is just one comment, and I rarely get this comment about being like an Apple fanboy, but it's like, just because I have a daily driver does not make me I'm a fanboy, dude. If you watch my channel, I will make fun of Apple any day of the week. Give me anything, and I will just rip them to shreds. They are not perfect. Plus, I'm test driving two Android phones right now. One of them is from Microsoft, for crying out loud, dude. A real Apple fanboy would touch that, and their skin would like melt. Like, that is not me. I like technology. Give me something cool, and I will play with it. Give me something shitty, I will make fun of it. I don't care what brand it's from. Heck, I bought a knockoff Apple Watch, which I hope is here soon, because I'd love to do an episode about it. I don't think it's here yet. But yeah, no, I just like technology. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
and
yeah.
I think the people that are most fond of Apple are the most critical of it. I mean, every week at the when we do the Mac Yak podcast, we're ripping on Apple about doing something or like not doing something correctly, and it's because we care about using the software or using something
Sure.
about it, and that's why we could be maybe negative or prickly pear about certain things because we care about it,
Hmm.
not necessarily because Apple could do no wrong. No, of course they're not perfect.
No, not even
Nobody
close.
is.
Not even close. Yeah, but since you brought that up, yeah, guys, Steve is on the Mac Yak podcast, and they do it every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Is that the time? Or no,
8
Eastern,
p.m.
Eastern,
Eastern.
8 p.m.
Yep.
8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 7 p.m. Central every Thursday on the
Yep.
Mac Yak channel. So yeah, go check that out as well. That's usually like what, like eight
We're on the
people
YouTubes.
on
Yep.
the YouTubes. Yeah. um, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think.
we have a good rotating group. It's a lot
Yeah,
of fun. And you've been on there plenty of times.
I think I've been on there times. Three
Yeah,
times.
we should got to have you back one of
No,
these
I
days.
know.
You're Mr. Popular.
I gotta get back on. I also want to be on Greg's Gadgets show, like one of his shows. Viper, I'd like to be on his Vipecast, or I think he called it like Vipe Drive. My brain is so full of stuff I don't remember everything. But like, there's so many cool like podcasts and stuff going on. Hey, and speaking of Mac Yak, Mike's Mac Shack just gave a super generous super chat. He said, "So how much did Steve
nice.
pay you to be on here tonight?"
I think it's the other way around.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, just quickly, what was really cool is I met up with Mike just over the weekend. I was giving him some
nice.
vintage goodies, and he's been playing around with, and we're talking about we're just fans of technology. He's been playing around with the IBM PS2. I think it's a P70 portable. Yeah, I think he just put a video on his channel. So if you guys are interested, you can click on his name in the chat.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about that thing, I mean, have you ever seen a gas plasma display in person, Ken?
Gas plasma display.
Yeah.
I don't think
You gotta check it out, man.
I'm
It's pretty cool.
googling this shit right now. Okay.
Yeah, it is intense. I mean, he does a teardown on his YouTube channel, where he just opens the thing up. He just posted the video of it, but I mean, this thing is like it makes the Macintosh Portable look like a wimp. It's really funny. But that display is like an orange amber display.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull it up here.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild system.
We just switch over to the
Yeah, sure.
Cambot, give me rocket number 9. Here we go. Yeah, look at this compact with a gas plasma display. What the frick?
Oh yeah, it's so his is actually an LCD, so it's not one of the heavier compact ones. So it's actually quite an interesting product because the contrast on his is surprisingly sharp, and it's just one of those things where you sort of get transported back when you're looking at these things, and it's like, wow, that was a thing.
Apparently so.
Yeah, they're wild machines. I mean, are there machines like that in your collection where you just like you're looking at it and you're like, what?
Dude, and that actually brings me back to that question someone asked earlier about the TAM. I will do an episode about the TAM. I was just kind of waiting for honestly, I was going to do a collab, but like then COVID hit and then I stopped traveling. But I will do something special with it. That in like my particular collection is like the one that makes me go like, whoa, like it was a unique design from Apple. There's a cool story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they never replicated that design again, probably because Steve Jobs hated it.
Well, you've seen the introduction video to that, have you?
Oh yeah, dude. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel uncomfortable for Steve Jobs. I feel so uncomfortable for him. Okay, guys, context. Steve Jobs at this like keynote address, I forgot like what conference it was or whatever. He's like, this is when he's coming.
Yeah, it was like their one event of the year.
Yeah.
It was a Macworld.
1997. This is like Steve Jobs coming back to the company to like announce, hey, we got this new operating system. We're going to be doing all these things. We're going to be, start shifting this stuff. And then this guy comes out on stage. I think one of my AirPod batteries just died. Can you hear me, Steve?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And I can hear you, but I heard like a boop, 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 boom sound, and I don't know what that means because I'm new to AirPods.
It means it's time to buy another set of AirPods.
Oh, so my right battery is low, but my left battery is good. These are new to me, guys. I'm such an Old school shit. Yeah, Apple fanboy. Just bought AirPods today. Yeah, makes no sense. I'm not a fanboy. But anyway, so then this guy comes out on stage and introduces the 20th anniversary Macintosh, and Steve is like looking at it, and I'm like, I'm not even there, and I feel really uncomfortable.
You just what gets me is you focus on the guy presenting and he was at Apple for a long time, and he was an evangelist or something from the marketing team or whatever, and you just look at it and he's just so proud about this thing, and you look at Jobs and you look at Wozniak, who's also on stage, and they've made a big deal about reuniting both of them, and Woz is kind of like,
yeah.
And then they're like, and here's this wonderful Mac, and they cue music, they cue to have the Mac do something, and it doesn't do it, and fails. They're like fussing with it, and it fails on cue, and then the big thing is like, oh, both Steves, you're gonna get one, and they're like, yeah, thanks. Like, really?
I heard a rumor that like one of them was like in the trash backstage. Like, it got thrown out already.
I would not be surprised if Steve Jobs is like, this is garbage, and just tossed it out.
Yeah. It's still... it still looks really cool, though, and, like, I want to absolutely do an episode about it. I've wanted one in my collection for years. I'm grateful I finally have one. But, yeah, the demo failed. Steve probably didn't like he definitely didn't like the design. Good times.
Oh, yeah.
That was so awkward.
I mean... I think they even mentioned in that video, they're like, oh, you can go to the website and take a look at it. And if you go to the Wayback Machine and look at the website, I mean, they give you some pictures, and they like, it's coming such and such. Like it's not even available. Like they're teasing it. And I don't even think they had a lot of the specs ready. So it was just like, they were just throwing it together. And, here you have this great presentation by Steve Jobs, just, we're focusing on the operating system. This is where it's going to be, it's going to be good. It's worth the wait. Sort of like clearing the air of a lot of things. And then you just have this fumble at the end. And it's like all the good Steve just did just went out the window. I know.
Oh my gosh. That's a good point. That was the thing. The buildup was so good. Steve did a great job laying everything out. And then, it's like.
Oh, yeah, because it's a Steve presentation. Yeah. And then you have Gil Amelio going, yeah, the Macintosh, the 20th anniversary the Macintosh, that's the 20th anniversary. Well, we're going to show, and it's like, he if you look at Gil's face, he wants to be anywhere but there, because Steve's stealing the show, and he's just like hunching over at the podium like, this guy's going to fire me in about 6 months. And that's like all that was going through his head. Oh,
dude. There's so much history we can get into with this, but yeah, when I do that episode, I'm definitely using a clip from that thing.
Reenactment.
Oh, dude, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, if you do come over, let's reenact it, and I'll whisper in your ear like, meet me out back in half an hour. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Okay, Steve. In this scene, you're gonna take the TAM. Steve, where'd you go?
The Apple Army in the YouTube chat there said, remember the 2009 Snow Leopard keynote with Bertrand Surley? Honestly, I've rewatched that one a bunch because I love Bertrand Surley. He was just a fun presenter. That was also the first Craig Federighi presentation, I think.
Mr. Air Force One, yeah.
Mr. Air Force One. Dude, I thought, okay.
You see his little cameo?
Yeah, I was actually just going to say that in the Apple event today, like, he didn't talk at all, but, like, when the camera was, like, droning through the campus, he would just be kind of there and be like, hi.
I was joking with the Mac Yak guys that we were going to see, like, Phil Schiller, like, climbing outside of the building.
Dude,
like, let me back.
let me in. Like, rappelling down with the giant glass windows. Anyway, Christopher, hey, thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, guys, if anyone else has any questions about the Apple event in the news today, and even upcoming Apple stuff that hasn't been announced yet, feel free to let us know. We're just kind of talking tech and history right now, but feel free to put any questions in the chat. But, yeah, it was a good event. I did want to mention this, since we were talking about, like, COVID and stuff earlier. In case you didn't see this, the Computer Clan has a face mask, and it's a print. This is like our most famous wallpaper download. It's like that very rainbow, colorful, like, circuit board. So I turned it into a face mask, and if you want, you can actually get these super, I'm not going to say super cheap. I mean, it costs money to do the fancy art, but if you want the art, okay. It's like, they're only like $9. You can go to thecomputerclan.com/store, and you can get some for yourself. And I might do some different colors and stuff in the future, but we got the rainbow one right now, so go ahead and grab that at thecomputerclan.com/store, and you can go get a colorful facial covering. It's what I've been using for like the past 2 weeks or so.
You could do one of those ones where it's your face smiling, because the guy who delivered packages to me had one of those.
Dude,
scared the crap out of me.
Those are kind of freaky. Yeah, I was once at a hotel, and there was like this outdoor like artificial hot spring sort of thing, and this girl comes by and she's wearing like a skin colored like one piece, so it kind of looks like she's nude. But even further, it had like a print of like a man's hairy chest and nipples on it. So I was looking at it, I'm like, is she naked? But then I was like, I did like a double take. I'm like, no, it's a swimsuit. And I even said that to her. I was like, hey, I had to do a double take with looking at your swimsuit. By the way, I really like it. That was freaking hilarious. But yeah, anyway, go ahead and grab a face mask. Yeah. Also, I do want to talk a bit about Dyadcast. I released a little like a skit earlier. It was kind of a funny skit. I released it on Monday. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. It was a promo for Dyadcast. It's a new gaming and entertainment YouTube channel with like Reddit reactions and game commentary and funny stuff. The cool thing is it's run by Wave. He just goes by the name Wave, but he used to be on our webcast when we did gaming stuff, and he would always kick our butts. So it's kind of cool to see him with his friend Jack, who was also on the show. He's a game developer. They came together and made the Dyadcast. It's a brand new YouTube channel, and they already are like almost at 300 subscribers. They just launched, so that's pretty good. I can't even imagine what it's like to start a new YouTube channel nowadays. It must be just crazy hard. But yeah, if you go ahead and check them out. I'll probably make some guest appearances in some of their videos. Dyadcast. Oh yeah, they got plenty of stuff coming up. They told me they're going to be releasing, I think, like 2 videos a week or something like that. So that's going to be pretty cool. So go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and check out Dyadcast if you like them. I think I forgot to put a link in the description, but if you literally just search Dyadcast, DYADcast, you'll find them. Alrighty, Dan's talking about. He said, I heard TikTok chose Oracle. Yeah, Oracle. I think is going to be the buyer of TikTok. No, that seems to be what's going on.
I would have never guessed Oracle.
I know. I know Microsoft was in there, but I heard Microsoft's offer got turned down. So.
Yeah, Oracle does not come to mind when you think social media.
Normally not. Hey, thanks, Wallable, for buying a
Oracle
mask.
comes to mind when you think of convoluted Java updates.
Java, VirtualBox. Yeah, but I guess they wanted to do something
We're no longer supporting this version of Java, so we're not going to give you a link on our website. But you could use Google and find a link that doesn't work.
Yeah. Hey, does anyone remember Microsoft Silverlight?
Oh, God. Remember when Netflix used to force that on you?
Oh, yeah. So that might make for an interesting Tech Talk episode. But yeah, Microsoft Silverlight, I don't think that really lasted too long.
Thank goodness. I mean, oh, geez. It was like, hey, let's make something that's worse than Flash and that's less compatible.
I know. Oh, geez. I am so glad everything has moved to like HTML5.
Well, I was talking about that in the chat before the video started, because a few people were talking about YouTube. And I mean, really, Apple was like the pioneer that pushed YouTube and said, look, for the Apple TV, it's got to be all H.264. Stop using Flash. And it was for a while that you would have to wait for videos to actually come out in H.264, because the first Apple TV that's about the size of the newer Mac Minis, I know you did a video about one that you got OS 10 on, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I mean, YouTube was all Flash, and Apple wanted it on the Apple TV and they wanted it on the iPhone. And it was just one of those things where, I'm very glad that they pushed that, because otherwise, I mean, I'm glad Flash isn't a thing now, but it probably would have prolonged the inevitable there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anonymous Freak said, wasn't it Hulu? I mean, I think Hulu did Silverlight as well. I don't remember if Netflix did, but I know Hulu, they like forced that on you.
I think I remember, I mean, my memory might be not correct about Netflix, but it was one of the streaming services. Yeah.
Yeah. And
and I just remember being like, oh, I have to install this.
Yeah. And that's the thing that kind of made me like upset with like Safari, because it's like the first HTML5 YouTube, I believe, was Safari only because Apple was pushing this stuff. And now it's like Safari is like literally the last browser to support 4K playback on YouTube. They haven't had
Yeah.
it this whole time, but in Big Sur, you'll have VP9 support, so you can do 4K. So it's like, what happened there? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for Safari, it always seems like, Apple gives you the newer version with the OS, and sometimes they'll support the last version of the OS with an update or something like that. But unfortunately, like all the machines I have are older, so it's like I can't really use Safari unless I'm like, oh, this is a website that won't break it, the
Oh,
basic
sure.
site. It's like web 1.0. I'm okay.
Nice. Bobby Warren, he said, hey, thanks for coming to the show, by the way. Bobby Warren said, I'm thinking about pre-ordering the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I mean, you can't. It's not available yet, but
Yeah,
maybe next month.
No, you can. You just give the money to Ken, and he'll put it in a savings account. And when it comes out, he'll let you know.
And then you can absolutely trust me. I'm just kidding. I would never spend someone else's money. Real talk. That'd be shady. But now, real
Ken,
talk.
I just gave you a check. What'd you do with it?
What? But yeah, real talk though. The iPhone 12 isn't official yet, but October. Stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe to the Computer Clan. We will talk about it, and as soon as I get my hands on it, I'll do a full review as well. Maybe a first impressions thing too. But I would normally. I
look forward to that.
I would also normally plug Steve, but I don't know if you do like new tech reviews usually. You're more the vintage stuff, but I freaking love the vintage
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I more of the vintage stuff. I mean, I could sort of give a little spiel about what I do for people that don't know, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I mean, I run a YouTube channel called Mac84. I've been doing it since about 2017 or so, and the whole real reason why I did it is because I grew up with Mac stuff. It was just what I knew. I started a little video game YouTube channel, didn't really go anywhere, and I'm thinking, let me stick to something I know. And there was a lot of misinformation out there about Apple stuff. Oh, look at this weird computer, look at this thing, and it's just like, I know about this stuff because I'm a big dork about it, and I have a sizable collection of Macintosh computers, so I'm like, well, let me just start a channel about it. And it's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun. I met awesome people like you, Ken. I remember submitting stuff to the Vintage Apple Vault series.
Yeah,
I think
that's how we met.
And and just like, all this stuff was just, around here. And I'm like, well, let me just do something with it. And I'm really getting back into the scripted videos. I just released one yesterday, which was going through a bunch of vintage Apple parts drawers, which are really cool. A bunch of chips and stuff like that of these parts that they haven't made for like 30 years. So that was exciting. But what I really like to do is looking back and doing these like video essays about like the first iMac, or one I've been working on for a while is about the Macintosh clones. And so I'm very happy that part one of that is almost done. So I'll be releasing that on Patreon soon. But as Ken's showing you on the screen there, I do live streams also, but those are wildly spanning an hour sometimes. Sometimes they're pretty straightforward. I'm recapping an old machine or something like that. Taking the advice from Jay from the House of Moth or Bruce from Breakus Creations, because I know a lot of my recapping stuff from them.
Right.
But it's just one of those things where it's something I'm most comfortable with. I'm a big Mac dork, and why hide it? So that's just what I do. I like taking around with these old machines. Here's like a corroded Macintosh Classic board that is a parts machine board now, but it's just one of these things where that's where I have a lot of knowledge of, and I just like sharing about these creations that this company Apple did, and say, hey, look, here's what I used a machine for, here's my memories of it, and so on. And the only thing that I hope to do by my channel is to educate people about these products and sort of say, well, here's what it was when it came out. Here's why it was useful. Here's the history and the footnotes of it. And, I think you probably saw the video I did about the truth of the iMac DV, where, I was sort of correcting a video that,
from Short Circuit,
that was out there. Yeah. From Short Circuit. And, those videos, I understand completely why the guy does them. They're not necessarily a lot of research gone into them. It's a fun thing, but it's like, if you're going to represent a product or you're going to represent something and you're like the go-to tech guy or something, you should get some facts straight. And it took me all of, 45 minutes to, put it together some thoughts. And I just did a crazy little video about that. I don't know how late I was up doing that, but, it's just one of those things where, if you're going to represent this stuff, have some facts behind you. We all make mistakes, but it's like if you're saying that the iMac G3 was the last of the PowerPC machines, I don't know
It's not even close.
what book you're looking at, but that's not how history was.
Yeah. I was actually just...
Yeah, I have a lot of good geeky fun, and
Totally.
anybody who wants to subscribe, you're welcome to do so. I could use all the help I could get.
Absolutely. And, I was probably like so busy earlier this week, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, I found Action Retro because of the cursed black Mac SE, and I didn't even realize, oh gosh, that's the one you're recapping. Like, it's the same one.
Yep.
I totally missed that. It was like a mini collab there. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I love the videos that he was doing, and when he said, he was on the MacGack podcast, and he was like, well, I think could use a recap, and I'm like, all right, what's one more? So he sent it along to me, and I'm thankful we got it working pretty straightforward. It wasn't too bad. There's just some minor trace repair that was required for that one, and it's almost on its way back to him, so he's gonna have more fun with it, I'm sure. And that's a heck of a find. I mean, you find a machine like that, and spoiler alert, it has 128 megabytes in it. I mean,
I know, for an SE.
Cow. Whenever I get a machine, I overpay, and it has no spare parts and no goodies inside at all.
Dude, it's crazy.
And here Sean has the best luck, so I have to just go give him some money and him pick up some computers for me next time. I think that's the way to go.
Oh yeah, the Jazz drives. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I think he has a good point though. Something that's so modded, like that cursed Macintosh SE that he titles it, something that's so modded like that, why bother making it original? There's so many original SEs or SE30s like that. Just embrace it. Just embrace it. I mean, come on, just go for broke.
And that's why
have fun with him.
And then that's why I could be wrong, but I saw Snazzy Labs, I think, tweet like he got a mod book and he wanted to see if he can get it like back to like a regular MacBook. But from an experimental standpoint, I could totally understand. It's like that's how like Crazy Ken's Tech Misadventure started. It's like, hey, here's this crazy idea. Can we do it? Let's find out. And if he can do it, I think that'd make for a fun video. But now it's like, oh, now I just undid it. Now it's back to normal. Well, okay, now let's just redo it. Maybe, I don't know. He does some cool stuff though.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you took it apart and then put it back together, I think that's fine. But I know there's so few of those mod books out there that it would almost be like a crime against the Macintosh community to do that. Because I know there's a ton of people out there, like Greg Rucke from Rucke Mods was like looking for one for ages, and they're really neat. I used to drool over them because I like to draw, and I'm like, oh man, I could draw on the screen, and you could use Apple's Inkwell from Jaguar and all this fancy stuff, and
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty rare, and I normally don't spoil a bunch of stuff because Patreon and all that stuff. But since we're live, and to quote Phil Schiller, you guys are 5,000 of my closest friends. I will say I have a mod book in the lair, and I will be doing episodes about it. Thanks to Sonny.
I'm definitely coming over now.
Thanks to Sonny Dixon for tracking that down, because I know they're kind of hard to find. But
that is really neat.
He hooked me up, and actually, I think the next episode I'm shooting is like the raw first impressions of it. And if anyone remembers, Heidi, who does the artwork for our channel, like the banners and everything, I had her in that Apple IIe video where I had her draw on the koala pad because she's an illustrative artist. I was like, hey, here's this 1980s tablet. See what you can do. I'm going to bring her back and see what she does with the mod book.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, get some good impressions on that.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a lot of fun. You will see at least 2 mod book episodes, one more raw and one more that goes into like the history, more like a video essay sort of thing. So should be pretty fun.
That'll be cool. Did they make more than a few models of that? I thought it was. I know they were around for a bit. But...
Yeah, they did the like original mod book, and then they did like the pro version, and then they had like the mod book pro, which was like this black version and all that stuff. And then they were working on like this mod book X, I think they called it. They did like a rendering. But I'm pretty sure these are all 3D concepts. Nothing ever went into production. Looks kind of cool though. But that kind of it hints at, it makes you think about some things like Apple never did this, so these other guys did. But now with like Big Sur, like is Apple maybe gonna do a touch Mac thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just it's funny because you're showing those, and I see the desktop background. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that's a later OS than I was expecting. I remember when the first MacBook Pros came out, just around that time, maybe 2007 or maybe 2008. That's when I think I saw one of the first ones. And I was drooling over it because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
There were some newer models that came out later, and the one I have, I haven't like done much with it because I want to save it for the camera, but I know it's running. Actually, I don't. I think it's running Mavericks.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
Yeah, so pretty awesome.
Yeah, Mavericks is one of those OSs that is pretty darn stable, so that's good.
Yeah, Mavericks was good. Mavericks was good shit. All right, cool. So anything else you guys want to cover? Anything from the Apple event? Any tech questions? Anything? Let us know. We're here. I'm guessing Steve's not going anywhere. We joked earlier saying, what was it like? I forgot what the setup to the joke was, and now I look stupid, but I said it's something about like you're going to stay here for like 13 hours or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, because we joked because last time I was on, it was like right before the Mac Yak podcast. So I had to like book it. The guys were like, you're late. Yep. And so I'm like, no, you got me this time. And you're like, 8 hours will do. I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
You're gonna, this shackle is just not unbuckling itself, Ken. Press that remote button on your phone to let me free.
All right, let's see. I think it's
to use the little boy's room.
I think it's this button. Oops. Maybe it's this button. Oh, now I'm in the dark.
Why is my computer exploding? Yeah.
Why is it supposed to be smoking? Anyway, but yeah, I know today was a big Apple day, but I just want to remind everyone, I still am paying attention to Microsoft and Android. My full Surface Duo review will be out on Friday. That is Microsoft's first foldable phone. It is also their first Android phone, so it is going to be a lot of fun. If you want to dip your feet in some of that right now with the Krazy Ken experience, I did a first impressions episode already. You can check that out on the channel. But stay tuned for Friday. The full review will be out. And I shot the whole thing, and it was actually like really smooth. Like, I feel like I'm getting better at this review thing. I'm kind of new to the review space for new products, but I think it's working. Yeah.
Yeah, if I review a 30-year-old SCSI scanner, I don't think I get that many views.
Honestly, though, it kind of depends on how you have like your channel set up, of course, because like freaking Technology Connections will talk about the history of touch lamps and get 1 billion views in a minute, because like that's what he does. But I was thinking it would be kind of funny to do like a Marquez Brownlee style review, but like it takes place in the 80s. Like, what's up, guys? MKBHD here. So Apple just released this new Mac. I've been using it for a couple weeks now, and it's like the 128K, right? So I've been using the mouse for a couple weeks now, and it's interesting.
I can't wait for an external floppy drive they promised 6 months from now.
So the screen is black and white. There's no hard drive.
There's no number pad. Where are the cursor keys on this?
Yeah, there's no arrows on here, which is kind of a downgrade from my Apple II.
More arrows.
More arrows.
Cons.
I sometimes forget about that. Like, I'll be using like a Mac 128K emulator, and I'll press the arrow keys on my keyboard, and it just draws a square like in the text field, and I'm like, what? And then it's like, oh my gosh, we take that for granted. The first Mac keyboard did not have arrow keys. Let's just remember that.
Yeah, they released a number pad, a numeric keypad for, I think it was $100 or $150 or something like that, about 6 months after. And it was just one of those things where, they probably had it in the works. They just wanted to probably ship the darn thing out.
Yeah.
And I mean, they rectified it with the Mac Plus because that has, the keyboard with the numeric keypad built in. Mm-hmm. But I think it, from a standpoint of being a computer user of the time, everyone threw off the Macintosh as such a toy because it didn't have things like cursor keys. But you didn't need cursor keys necessarily because you had a mouse. But it was just so revolutionary. People just weren't thinking. They were just like, well, where's the arrow keys? I obviously need the arrow keys to use the software. Mm-hmm. And yes, they're handy in a spreadsheet or whatever like that. But that's I think they learned their lesson pretty quick from that.
Yeah. All right, so I think one of my AirPods is like totally dead now. Go ahead, Steve, say something.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're coming out of me. You're just coming out of my left ear now. Again, I just got these.
I'll just scream louder.
They were like mostly charged out of
Did
the
you
box.
charge them?
No, I literally bought them from Walmart today, like a couple hours before the show. No joke.
Oh boy. Well, I think you're onto something with these vintage reviews because I have a lot of analog camera equipment, Ken. So this could be very dangerous.
I think that would be funny. Yeah.
Do like a Mac 1984 instead of Mac 84 and just have a spin-off channel.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm big enough for that yet, but that'd be funny.
Hey T Develops, thanks for joining the chat. If I missed any messages from people, I'm sorry. I know the chat is scrolling really fast, but yeah, my friend shot me on a Quasar. So I did like a Mac Plus demo video, and he taped me on an old Quasar, and it looks legit, like it's from the 80s. But
you got to get that SVHS camcorder, man. Come on, go bump up that resolution.
Yeah,
I have a box of like sealed SVHS tapes that I just gotta. Maybe I'll do a video of that because I went to an e-waste facility in the summer, and they were like a prop department, so they actually would like rent out old equipment and stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff they had there was pretty nice. But I went there on like one of the last days, and I came home with a camcorder that has like all these news label stickers on it. So it was like an SVHS camcorder that was used in the field. And maybe I got to use that. That might be fun.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. In the meantime, I can just film it on my iPhone with like that VHS app, and I mean it looks pretty legit. I mean, it's pretty cool, guys. If you guys haven't used it, I forgot what it's called. I think it's just called like VHS Cam or something like that. It works with the accelerometer. You shake it, it adds like tape distortion like into the footage because it detects camera shake. Like, dude, that's freaking sweet.
Yeah, I mean that's it's great to play around with that stuff, and we're joking about doing it the analog way, but it's like linear editing. Oh yeah, I have to wait like an hour to import the hour of footage that I did because I'm playing it back in real time. It's like take the stuff for granted. Everything digital, it's like boom, instant. You know.
Totes. Yeah.
It's hard to forget.
We got another question from it scrolled by so quick. Alex Zhang, there we go. When do you think the iPhone 12 will come out? Well, see, here's the weird thing. It's probably going to be in 2 tiers. You're going to see like one version of it like earlier and then another one a couple weeks later, but you're going to get announcements in October. So I would say within the next month, maybe like 5 weeks at the most, we're going to get updates on the iPhone 12. So stay tuned for that. Feel free to subscribe because we'll definitely review it when it comes in. And if you want, on the Computer Clan channel already, we already broke down what the design could look like with the new iPhone 12. So I did an episode on that, I think about a month ago. So feel free to check that out as well. Yeah, we'll keep you up to date.
Pretty slick looking.
Yeah, we'll take care of you. Follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. We'll take care of you. I also have been seeing some.
I must say,
go ahead.
Ken's Twitter game is on point there. He's pretty good on it.
I'll be honest. Ever since I started using it more, okay, it took us I think like 7 years to get to 1,000 followers, but just in the last like 2 years, it has gone up by 350%. It's because, spoiler alert, when you use a platform more, you tend to grow on it more. So I'm actually like using it. Yeah, it's fun. I think I probably lost a follower or two today because I was tweeting like every 2 minutes from the Apple event. But hey, it happens. I'm thirsty.
But that's fun with those platforms though, because you get interaction going and stuff like that. So,
dude, totally. Twitter, and this is advice I give to new YouTubers: frickin' use Twitter, even if you don't want to even if it's not for promoting your own channel. I mean, you can do that, but it's just good for like virtually rubbing shoulders. Like that's how I found Action Retro. Like I think I found him just through some tweet. And it's also just a good way to learn stuff. If you follow other people, they might tweet just a little thing that's like, oh, that's a good tip. I didn't even know that. Or like, I found out about like cool new features or tricks in Final Cut Pro, or like even like other like big tech news that I maybe missed just through Twitter. Like it's freaking good. I love Twitter.
I think that's how I found you, because somebody retweeted when you were first doing the Vintage Apple Vault.
Oh, yeah.
When you were looking for submissions. I think somebody tweeted the page, and I think I emailed you, and then I got a response back, and that's how we started. That was years ago, man. Jeez.
Dude, yeah, the first Vintage Apple Vault was like, I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe more than that.
Yeah, something like that.
I lost track.
Yeah, that's that was a great series. If you ever bring that back, big fan and supporter of that.
I do appreciate it, and I'll be honest. I will not be bringing Vintage Apple Vault back. It was kind of like a one-off sort of thing. But I'll be doing cool stuff like that on Crazy Ken's Tech Talk. Absolutely. Yeah, not a problem there. And actually, Crazy.
So you're just saying you could give the license to me and I'll continue it and just not do anything with it.
I mean, maybe. and like from also from like an analytics perspective, Crazy Ken's Tech Talk has like almost double the retention of Vintage Apple Vault. It's formulated in such a way. I spent a long ass time building the formula for Tech Talk. I keep it wrapped up in a bottle under my bed. But yeah, like I'll do similar stuff like that on Tech Talk. And when traveling is more, I guess, mainstream again, I don't know. I'll travel more and do cool things. Like when I went to Hap and I filmed his prototype collection and stuff. I met some cool people through that for sure.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, that was really cool, and I understand it's those more projects are like the labor of love type things where like you love yourself to see the end result of it and the whole journey involved in that. But it's probably analytically more rewarding for you to do a different type of video on your channel.
Don't get me wrong. I love doing Vintage Apple Vault because like it gave me a chance to. It even won a Telly Award for cinematography. But like,
I saw that.
It gave me a chance
Congrats,
to like.
man.
Hey, thank you. It gave me a chance to like collaborate and like hone in my cinematography skills. But even though I'm not doing that show anymore, like all that stuff is going to be in Crazy Ken's Tech Talk, and some of it already has been. It's just overall the Crazy Ken like name and brand has like become the channel. Like that's just what happened. So that's what took over. Hey, Aldiner Productions is in the chat. What's up?
Oh, hey. You got a very good audience here.
Yeah, man. I love. Dude, I love our audience. New people, too. Hey, if you're new here, if this is the first time you're watching us, dude, I'm so grateful you're here.
I think we got, like, almost the whole Mac Yak crew in the chat here over the period of time. That's great.
We still have, like, almost 500 people still here. Like, I feel like we covered, like, everything and more, but there's still, like, 500 people here. I mean, I still have
They want us to make up new products.
Okay. We could do that. Oh gosh.
Air glasses. There you go.
I was just gonna say I
have
my glasses over there, but if I put them on while I'm wearing my contacts, everything is gonna look. I'm probably gonna start seeing in like 6 dimensions.
Yeah, don't make me call 911, Ken. I don't know where you live.
10 stories underground.
Yeah, he's in a lair somewhere. I don't know. Find him.
T Develop said, is it proper to self-promote in a live stream like this? Yeah, you can. And if you want, feel free to send a super chat, and then your message gets nice and big and it sticks to the top if you want to promote your channel or something like that. I'm totally cool with that. Yeah. Yeah, but anybody...
That's what I've been doing this whole time.
Yeah. Anybody who's new here, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. I just love getting to meet new people. And like now it's like harder because like I would usually like meet people like at places, but like events and shit like aren't happening right now because of COVID. Vintage Computer Festival Midwest is like it got canceled. Well, it was virtual only this year, but like yeah, it's all online now.
Yeah, I was so excited to do the VCF East, which I think they're supposed to do a hybrid next month. I don't know how that's actually going to work out, but I was so excited for that. Kansas Fest was virtual, which was great because I can't go to Kansas all the way over there just for a one-day event or something like that. So that was cool, but you do miss out about having these things in person like that.
Absolutely.
The Trenton Computer Festival was postponed. The VCF East, like we said, was, but hopefully, these will come back again and that'll be fun. I was hoping to actually have a table at VCF East and take some machines there and just have them running and stuff like that. But
totally.
I
was in
pretty lame, but I mean.
I was in the same boat.
I know. That's what you say. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think there's some latency there. I apologize for that. We'll blame Skype.
No worries.
I was gonna go to a Vintage Computer Festival Midwest this year and have a table because I was there last year. It was an amazing time. It's where I met the 8-bit guy. It's where I got the Next Cube. It's where I got the TAM. Like, it was a fun time. I did an episode about it, actually. My buddy filmed it, so it's on our channel. But yeah, this year I was so looking forward to it. I wanted to have a booth and everything, but no. Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, maybe when things get better, we'll go in on a booth together or something. That way, one of us can go have lunch.
hell yeah, man! I'm totally for that stuff. Like, I'm excited for events to like happen again.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I mean, there was a yard sale like down the street, and I'm like, I could go outside. I could haggle. This is good.
Yeah, right. Hey, hey, Bruce, thanks for another super chat, by the way. Oh,
yeah, Bruce taught me all I know about computer repair, board level repair and stuff like that. Him and Jay and the guy from Mac. Yeah, check out his channel. He does some very cool live streams.
Yeah, and actually, that's a perfect segue to like this other thing I wanted to talk about quick. Bruce's super chat there with his channel. Yeah, definitely go check him out. And for those who don't know, the episode I did where I collaborated with the 8-bit guy, like most of the writing was like made possible because of Bruce. Because like I had all these questions. The theme of the video is like, what happens to computers that makes them break? What's the little things that go wrong that make them break? And we talked for probably like 45 minutes or so, and then I asked him some follow-up questions, and he helped me write the script for this episode and even gave me some awesome photos of like examples of like leaks and stuff like that. So, and like even just capacitors. So like that was Bruce. Like this episode wouldn't have been possible without him. It would have taken much longer to make. So yeah,
I just remember being on that Skype chat and like Bruce is covering all the topics and I'm just nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, what he said.
Oh, I felt so bad because like we committed to it, and then I know your dinner plans got delayed, so you were skipping dinner to talk with us, and like Bruce was like taking care of everything, and I'm like, hey Steve, if you gotta go, you can go. You can go to dinner. You don't want your wife.
Pretty sure this guy knows more than you, so you can get lost.
Just want to keep the family happy, but
yeah, exactly.
I by the way, speaking of the 8-bit guy, yeah, he released that video about his new studio. He's building a new studio. I'm super happy for him. That's got to be exciting.
That's giving me bad ideas.
I was actually like delighted. He put the photo of us two, him and me, behind the desk in the video.
It's in the thumbnail.
I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, but anyway,
you made it.
He's building it. It's so great. I was lucky to be able to go to his place like right before COVID hit. I was filming there like on like late February. So that was like right before the airline started like having problems just being able to fly people. So that was a close call.
Yeah, sometimes you just like you get right into the right spot of things time. There.
Yeah. And
that must have been fun. He was supposed to be at CF East this year, so maybe next year.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And Leland in the chat asked, what is your favorite video you ever made? And I got to say, that was probably top 3 or top 5. Like, I learned so much. It was cool to travel and see him. It was cool to learn from Bruce and Steve. It was a fun one. Going to the Vintage Apple Vault episode with the Apple prototypes, going to see Hap in California. That was a fun one to do. So, yeah.
I think I have to answer that, too, with my iMac G3 videos that I did. Those were a bunch of fun to make.
Yeah,
those are really cool. Just revisiting the original iMac there, and I put a link in the chat there if anybody wants to look at that. But
sweet.
Those are a bunch of fun.
Yeah, I love that OG iMac. Got one sitting somewhere. Dude, my studio is a mess. Hey, does anyone want to like come over and clean my studio for me? Like, it is a darn mess. Like, I have been working project to project. Like,
I'll come over with the truck. Just don't look in the truck.
Just
what happened to all the computers?
It's like I come back, like Steve comes here and he's like, "Hey Ken, here's $100. You go get dinner with your friend. You decompress. I'll take care of the studio." And I come back and like, what happened? Like, everything's gone. Damn it, Steve.
There's be a little post-it note. Sorry.
Distro Hopper said those were how I discovered your channel. I'm guessing that he's referring to the 8-bit guy, but I'm not sure. But hey, no, that's cool. I love hearing how people found like our channels. Like, I like hearing the little journey because that also helps me hone that in a bit. Someone saw me in person recently. And they were like, "Hey, dude, Computer Client, I love your stuff. I found you through Jiraga 1 because we collabed with Jiraga 1." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's freaking awesome." So.
Yeah, I mean the same thing for me. I mean, I don't. He was referring to. I feel so honored.
No, there you go. Yeah, hey, there it is.
But the same thing. Just how these videos influence people, and like I sort of touched on earlier. Like, I was just doing a video about the iMac because it was its 20th birthday, and to me it's like, it's just an iMac G3. There's nothing special about it. But like there's a generation of people where that was their first experience with a computer, whether it was their parents or it was a school computer or whatever. And just the response from that it's one of my best videos at all
Sweet.
that I've been getting, analytic wise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So definitely continuing that. I got a bunch of other iMacs to cover, so I got my homework set up for me.
That's cool. Yeah, speaking of iMacs and like analytics, sometimes this is the weird thing about running Krazy Ken's Tech Misadventures, and this is a reason why I put that disclaimer at the beginning. So the overall concept of the show is it's like tinkering and experimenting, but sometimes the video will get picked up and like the algorithm pushes it, and then people will think it's like a how-to video. And I'll get some comments and they'll say like, this was a horrible tutorial, didn't teach me anything. And I'm just like, it's not a tutorial. Like, it's a tinkering thing. Like, I'm tinkering with something here. It's not a tutorial, but like people think it is, and I get it. But like that's why I have that disclaimer now. But even so, one video, it got popular pretty quick. People were like, this is a bad tutorial. So in the title, literally in the title, in parentheses, I have the words, not a tutorial, and I still get comments from people saying, this was a bad tutorial, and I'm like, sorry, like, I'm a patient person, but yeah, you shouldn't be on the internet right now.
Do you get the people who comment, like, if you're doing a live video, they'll like watch the video after it's done being live, and let's say it's an hour live video, they'll just comment like every 5 minutes, oh, do this, oh wait, you did that already, oh wait, do this. Wait, watch it first.
I sometimes get that with like pre-recorded stuff where they will comment as they're going. But honestly, I kind of like that because they like it that much that they're commenting like in real time, like, hey, go for it.
I think it's very endearing. It's just funny because like you'll see their thought process. Like, oh wow, you have this. Oh no, what happened? Oh, can you fix it? Oh, you fixed it.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
And sometimes it'll be like a comment like, well, what about XYZ? And then it'll say edited, and they'll say edit, : never mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I enjoy them. I love all the creative comments that people leave. I mean, it's enjoyable to me to watch. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just funny because like you think that a lot of people either, like you're saying, they'll comment on something that you wrote in the title, like, no, don't worry, it's not a tutorial. And you're like, no, it's a bad tutorial.
Yeah. And like with my like scam busting stuff, like with the Blau portable AC, like there were some people that were like, this is a terrible review, you didn't even show the product. And I'm like, guys, that's the idea. They're not sending the product out. That's why this is like a scam, right?
I would show it if I had it.
Yeah. I mean, I have it now, and I did a follow-up, and I gave Blau some compliments, like they're getting their shit together. So yeah, I did a follow-up, and I do have it now, and I will show it in a future episode. But like some people just don't get the review. The word review is not in the title. It's not in the keywords. It's not in the description. It's not in the thumbnail. And they'll say, this was a bad review. Like, I'm out. Like,
even if you had scrolling text, I don't think it would even help.
Dude, yeah, like a news ticker. Like, not a review, not a review, not a review. This was a bad review. Okay. Just
why isn't this a review?
I know. Dude.
Delete this video and do the one with the review.
Yeah, right. But like that's it happens. Okay. So speaking of YouTube, I do want to plug this awesome upcoming YouTube channel here run by Wave and Jack. Jack is a game developer. He was on the show earlier, and Wave was on he was a collaborator with us before. He used to play games with us on our show and kick our butts all the time. But they came together and they're creating a new gaming and entertainment channel called Dyadcast. I actually did a skit episode about it earlier on my channel, promoting it. But definitely go check it out. Tell them Krazy Ken sent you, or don't. That might annoy them. But Dyadcast, check them out. New channel. Let's show them some support. And I think they plan to release like 1 to 2 videos a week. So I heard they got a backlog of cool gaming and like Reddit reaction stuff going on. So check them out. Dyadcast.
That's cool because I'm sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, no, fine.
That's really cool how these things you discover them. That's. I mean, we all, follow people on YouTube and Twitter and stuff that we enjoy. And it's like, just by chance, like something will put it in your face and you'll be like, oh, wow, I didn't know this existed before.
Right. Yeah. And that's why, like, I was pushing Twitter earlier. It's like, I find some cool shit that it's like, oh, I didn't know this existed. Like, I think that's how I discovered the Final Cut Pro Summit. I think it was through just Twitter, and it's like a meet of Final Cut Pro users that come to like a place near Apple headquarters, and they learn about Final Cut Pro. And one of the benefits of going is you get a tour of the Ring building at Apple, which is one of the main reasons why I really want to go. But of course, COVID shut that down this year. It's virtual only. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's a double-edged sword, because obviously the best interaction is when you're in person with someone you're learning. I think that's the best way I learn, at least.
Same.
But I mean,
Totally.
at least some good things come out of this, where, you know, there's all these recorded events and they're streaming and stuff like that. But I mean, it's less personal, but some of that is pretty nice, because you wouldn't have been invited at all, you know, potentially.
Right.
So at least there's some interaction. But
Totally. There's some trade-offs. Like, yeah, like you miss out on like rubbing shoulders and stuff, but sometimes you get easier access to somebody. And I'll just give an example here. Like my favorite cartoon, like I got to talk to the voice actor for like 2 minutes straight, one-on-one with a camera, because like, you know, they canceled Comic-Cons and stuff. So it's like, instead of being in a busy line with handlers and stuff around, I got like 2 minutes of time just to talk to him and like pick his brain on a few things, which was really slick. And he noticed the set. He was like, whoa, that's legit. And well, we got talking about YouTube and stuff too. It was pretty freaking great. So like, that's the kind of stuff virtual,
that's really cool.
Yeah, can like have the advantage of. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, totally, because you could reach places you haven't reached before, so that's pretty neat.
There's trade-offs and cost. That's another thing. Virtual stuff is usually less expensive. So again, but like you miss out. Like here's the thing. Like I've been to conferences and stuff before, and I want to go to more. I'm bummed that VidCon didn't happen, but like they're great. You can learn stuff there, but like the big thing is it's the shoulder rubbing. You get to meet people. That's the thing you really can't do as easily online. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're all a little grid on a screen, and you know you're like, hey, wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm. T-Develop,
especially if you have a dodgy microphone.
Oh yeah. Okay, Mr. Charlie Brown's teacher, you need to take the microphone out of the box before you use it. Hello.
Can you guys hear me? Wait, no, wait, what? No, wait.
But hey, who are we to talk? I'm here with only one working Apple AirPod. So T-Develops asks, have you guys ever met a Nigerian tech YouTuber? I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, no, not that I remember. Let's see.
Good question.
Yeah. What else is going on here? We still have like 415 people here, so like, I mean, I'll keep it going. I gotta say, I'm loving this new setup. It's great. It's been flawless, except I didn't click that sync button earlier, so that was on me. But we have had 0 dropped frames, and we're only at 6.8% CPU
awesome.
usage. Yeah, dude.
That machine you got is a beast, man. That's awesome.
It is totally a beast. And another nice thing is, like, the screen is so big on this iMac. Like, I used to stream with my little 15-inch thing. This is a 27 Retina. It's freaking holy frick.
Do you find yourself like sitting further back from it, like it's too big to sit in front of?
Well, so normally when I use my MacBook Pro, I had it on like a 34-inch like LG display. So in my normal environment, it's the same. Here it's the same too, because when I was streaming, my laptop was actually positioned like way further away. So it's about the same distance. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, this display is so
I got it. Yeah, I mean that display. I'm glad you actually did the comparison between the two, because you know not many people would take the time and they'll just pick one and be like, yeah, I guess this is okay. Mm-hmm. And when you're in like an Apple Store setting and you have 2 of them or whatnot, you know that's hard to do. But you know I liked what you did better, because I would not have known that there was, you know, a slightly fuzziness to the text or whatever if you got that extra, you know, display option there. Right. You know, and that's just something that's good to know, because anybody who's looking at buying one of those machines, what is it, like $500 extra? Yep. Mm-hmm. That's good to know before you actually shell out the money for
Absolutely. And like I would have normally have liked to go to like an Apple Store and try one out, but with COVID and like downtown riots and shit, like I'm not really going anywhere right now. So what I did was I bought both. And yeah, I did an episode on this. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. I did do a comparison. But the quick and dirty spoiler alert version is what you see on the right here is the nano texture, and the left is the standard glass. The text is it's like softer. Now, as you can see here, the reflection is way less, so you get way less glare, which is a benefit, but text is softer. And honestly, that was not worth it to me, so I shipped it back. I'm keeping the glass one.
Yeah, I mean that
normal glass.
I'm glad they have such a lax return policy, I guess, for lack of a better word for that type of stuff, because it's like, if it's not perfect for you, you can't use it in your day-to-day life, you know, especially for the type of stuff that you do. You're going to be looking at that screen a lot and for a lot of details, you know.
Absolutely. And that is one thing I do like about Apple. Like, I know some people like give them crap, but like, dude, their return policy is like super generous. It's 14 days, so it's not crazy long, but here's the thing. You can file for a return and you get another like 2 weeks to ship it out. So just, you know, spoiler alert. So you can get about a month.
That's good to know.
Yeah. They refund the whole product. They refund the shipping. They pay for all the shipping out and in. They refund the sales tax, and they don't charge a restocking fee. So it's pretty nice.
That's very dangerous, because then you fall in love with the product and you don't return it.
Well, see, the thing is kind of funny, because like I had both of them, but I originally planned to return this one, so I started a return for it. But then I had to cancel the return and start the return for the nanotexture, and I called Apple Care just to make sure everything's good. And the guy asked me, like, hey, I'm just curious, why did you cancel a return? Because that's not very common. Usually when you return something, you return it. So he's like, why'd you cancel the return? And I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, I got like a 20-minute story as to how this shit show went down. Or I could just say, oh, I just wanted to try both glasses, and I like the standard glass more. That's all I said.
And you know what? I'm sure like there's been plenty of people who are like, yeah, I bought the 13-inch and the 15-inch and the 16-inch MacBook because I just wanted to compare them and see which I like best, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, especially in these days, it's better than going to an Apple store. I mean, I went to the Apple store to get my phone replaced, and that was a weird experience, man. That was, you know, I mean, they had all their displays and stuff up, but there was a lot of Purell wipes and stuff like that. So that was... I was like, all right, in and out. Here's my phone. I'm going to be in the parking lot for a while.
Yeah, personally, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm hardly going to like anything more than, you know, my studio here, day job office, you know, the market, supermarket, whatever, to get food or whatever. But like other than that, not really traveling. And if I do travel, it's small groups of people. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's, I mean, it's the times we're living in, I guess.
I was thinking the same thing when I was getting my AirPods in Walmart. It's like, yeah, everyone's got masks. There's like separator stickers all over the floor. Like it's like, wow, this is a completely different era now. It is. We're living in a history book chapter.
Yeah, it's hard for me to like, because sometimes I'll like talk to somebody from like at a cash register or whatever, and it's like you got the mask in front of you, so you're a little muffled already. And then you got the plexiglass. Yeah. And then, you know, it's like you're shouting. You're like, no, the bananas were on sale.
What do you mean the bananas were on sale? Wait, what? The bananas are stale? No, the bananas are on sale.
I want my 2-cent discount. Yeah, come on. Jeez. I got a new iMac to pay off here.
Oh, man. Speaking of masks, just to remind everybody.
Getting some love in the mask.
I was going to say, yeah, you can get these. I'm selling them, just thecomputerclan.com/store. You can get a colorful circuit board mask. Go ahead. Go for it. thecomputerclan.com/store. Order today.
It looks like, Ken, you're getting some requests for some software installations of very old Windows products. That's a bit scary.
Oh, maybe. I mean, yeah. I just did a bunch of like Windows 95 like researchy stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of done with like vintage Windows for a little bit, but I'm sure I'll jump back into it soon.
You're gonna get burned out on that. Yeah, that's. I mean, I like we were talking a little bit before about Windows ME, and I'm like, oh, let me just find the disk, and then let me just find a computer on the shelf, and I was start installing it, and I went to go get the computer, and I looked inside, and I'm like, oh, there's no hard drive in there. Well, forget that. I'm not.
I know.
I'm not going through that.
It's crazy.
Did you play with that cube recently? I'm just curious. When was the last time you played around with that in a video?
The G4 cube?
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
It's just mocking me on the shelf, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I like putting it in the background because it gets comments and stuff. But yeah, I haven't done anything with it in a while.
Yeah, that's the reason that half the crap here is on my desk. But this.
It's flex material, you know. Oh,
Yes, yes. Like I have a power CD. Do you?
do you? Oh man. Well, I mean, I think I got to be wrapping up here because as fun as this is, like I have still not had dinner today, and I am hungry. But I do appreciate everyone coming out to the chat and watching us. And on Friday, we'll have my Surface Duo full review out, so stay tuned for that. And definitely, thank you very much to Steve from Mac84 for coming on the show.
Of course.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to plug my channel before we go,
throw it in there.
I would appreciate anybody watching Ken's videos. You know, we have a similar love to old and crazy technology, and I do some live streams, but I'm getting back into doing a lot of scripted videos. Highly suggest you just do a search for iMac on my YouTube channel, and there's some great videos there of the iMac G3 that I personally am very proud of. Some fun camera work there. And you know, take a look at them and watch them. If you click playlists there and then click on iMac, I think you'll find what I'm referring to there. But I think it's like one of my most popular videos there about the iMac G3 and about the USB revolution and all that fun stuff. So check that out. I love collecting all those fun things and a lot of those. There's the image writer. And,
yep.
And it's a blast. I have fun doing it, and I love when people leave comments or suggest other things for me to try out, because it's a heck of a lot of fun doing it. And I know that's why Ken does it as well, because we just have a blast doing this stuff, and we'd be doing it even if there wasn't an audience. So it's nice to have that feedback from everybody there.
Right, so. That's the thing. Like I was starting to tinker with this stuff like before I started doing it more on YouTube, and it's like, oh, I just want to share it with people now. So here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's just how it is. And it's always fun being on and talking about Apple stuff, especially when there's new toys to play around with and speculate. So thank you for having me on again. It's been a blast.
Anytime. And that's what we love doing at the Computer Clan. Like, we love having, like, you don't even need to be a techie to watch like any of our channels. Like, as long as you're curious, like, that's how you get in the door. And here at the Computer Clan, we do a nice balance of new and vintage, and a balance of like raw videos with first impressions, and like those more scripted things like Steve was talking about, where we like research topics and we tell you the stories behind things. So it's a nice balance there.
Yeah, and I must say your videos are so well put together that you don't need to know how a capacitor works or what this is or what that is. I mean, that Why Computers Die video was great because you went over it. So anybody who didn't know about that stuff going in, now they're educated about it, and it does a great service to the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love teaching shit. Like, oh my gosh, I love just teaching people new things because I like learning things. It's like, hey, I want to reciprocate that. So yeah, it's been fun. Just a few more quick things as we wrap up here. Tomorrow is the 13th birthday of the Computer Clan. I don't know if anyone can freaking believe that, but like this channel's been running for 13 years.
Happy birthday, man!
Yeah, so the last year has been transformative. I've started treating YouTube more like a business, so we've been growing a lot more, like on the surface and under the hood the last year. But like for the first 12 years, it was more of like a hobby. But yeah, we've been around for like 13 years. So yes, it's our birthday tomorrow. Thanks to everyone who's been watching our stuff. And if you're new here, welcome. Feel free to subscribe and stick around for more. And of course, I gotta plug my buddies here again with the Diadcast, their new YouTube channel. Go check it out. I can't even imagine what it's like starting a new YouTube channel nowadays. There's just so many creators out there. So definitely show them some support. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that just says, subscribe. Only subscribe if you want to subscribe. Like, don't inflate the algorithm and make me mad. Because nothing's worse than getting a bunch of subscribers and then they don't watch your stuff, right? So, but yeah, go check them out. I think you'll like them. Subscribe if you want. Support Diadcast. And I just got to say another big thank you.
I'm going to put a link to them.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. And I just want to say another big thank you to our associates with Artlist. They help fund some things on the channel. Hashtag not a sponsor. Not tonight. They're not paying for this, but I am an associate with them, an affiliate, full disclaimer. But I am going to say, even before I started working with them, I was already using their product. They have this awesome service called Artlist. So if you need royalty-free music for your YouTube channel or anything else you're doing, definitely use Artlist. There's a link in the description, and if you use the link in the description, you get bonus months through the Computer Clan, and you'll also be supporting the Computer Clan channel, so everybody wins. And here's the other really freaking cool thing about Artlist. Not only is it inexpensive and easy to use, but even if you stop paying the subscription, guess what? Your music licenses don't expire, so you don't have to worry about getting a license renewed. Once you pay for the year or whatever, and you download a song, let's say 3 years later, maybe you're done. Well, guess what? The song license is still valid. So Artlist is the place to go for your royalty-free music needs. I use them all the freaking time. Most of the music you hear on my YouTube channel is from Artlist. So go ahead and use the link in the description. And they also have royalty-free stock footage as well. We have another link for that in the description too. That's called ArtGrid. So thank you guys very much for helping support the channel. And again, check out Dyadcast. Thank you, Mac84 Steve, for putting that in the chat. All right. Yes. I'm not really hungry. I just feel like I should eat for like nutritional reasons. So
you're programmed to eat. You just, you know,
Yeah.
you're just following along.
Yeah. I think that is the next thing I will be doing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much, Steve. Everybody, have a good night. Catch the Krazy and pass it on.
See you later, guys.